What if you are able to get the intelligence of a Claude 4 Opus or a Claude 4 Sonnet for a fraction of the cost? Hey, guess what? There's this new open model called Kimi K2. And yesterday, I tried to take you through the setup using the Moonshot API. But I just found one of the fastest providers that is currently located in North America. And they also have a region in Europe that can serve this gigantic 1 trillion terabyte, 1 trillion parameter model to us at lightning speed. I mean, it is so fast. It is just unbelievable how this thing is working. And it's basically at a fraction of the cost. So really quickly, I was able to kind of spit up a quick demo of it to use in the chat. And I said, code me a quick Tetris game to run an HTML file. And you can kind of see it create the game here. So if I hit send again, we'll actually see how fast this provider is at like doing this type of thing. So what I have set up right here for us is I have a version of what they call OpenWebUI. And so we're going to cover that in a little bit of kind of what OpenWebUI is and how you can connect the API to here. So you have your own version of like what appears to be ChatGPT running in the browser. And so what this type of thing does is you can actually review the code, preview these types of things, and kind of run these models so that they're kind of running locally in the browser and so forth. We have that type of thing going on. Another thing we're going to go ahead and cover is getting this set up with RepoPrompt so that you can use this endpoint in Groq. And you can have this really, really fast inference available, because that was my problem before yesterday is when I was running this locally, or when I was running this using the API endpoints, everything and everyone who was serving it on OpenRoute and so forth were really slow. And so now that's actually sped up. And as a bonus towards the end, we're going to see how we can use this API base URL here inside of Cursor using the Klein system prompt. And as you can kind of see above, I actually was able to tap in on someone who's currently at Groq. And so I have a whole bunch of questions. And since this is a live stream, ladies and gentlemen, we can ask as many questions as we want to Arush here. And thank you so much for joining on the stream, because this is just an incredible feat that like 72 hours later, this open weights model, which is absolutely gigantic, is available for inference for us, for folks here in the US. But not only is it available, it is fast AF. So Arush, thank you for joining the stream, man. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Ray. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, so I'm really curious here about, the model and getting it up as fast as possible, and kind of what is Groq and why, like, how can I use this model to kind of best leverage the intelligence and kind of, your platform and so forth.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe we can start with like a quick overview of what Groq is.
Yeah.
So we make AI fast. Essentially, we have our own custom chip that we run, and we can run any form of ML workload / AI model on. It's purpose built for AI inference, and essentially we've ported Kimi over from running on GPUs to running on these custom chips, and we brought it up and we allow you guys to use it through the API, because you guys don't want to have to like work with a completely new piece of hardware when you're bringing up like a new model. So we'll do all of that work for you. We'll serve the model to you through our API, console.groq.com/chat.
That's amazing. And for folks who don't know, they serve other models as well. So not only do you have that, like I use the Whisper v3 model as one of my inference endpoints as well. And so they provide other types of services, and usually it's like also at a fraction of the cost. So that's just kind of, for me, super duper impressive as far as like the fact that you're able to do these things and provide them at a fraction of the cost. And some people had some questions on like, data privacy and data concerns and so forth. It's my understanding that literally just the data gets sent in, it does the inference, and it kind of goes away. You guys aren't really like keeping the stuff, like other model providers may actually keep all your requests and keep everything to train their own models. Is that kind of what I understand from you guys?
Yeah, 100%. We're very, very privacy conscious at Groq. So any request that you send to our API through the chat completions endpoint, we will process the requests, send you the response back, and then it's completely deleted from our systems. We don't even store any of the request on disk. It's all processed in memory.
That's ridiculous. That's amazing. And I'm so glad I have you on because I wanted to get that clarification. Because that's, I've been reading about this, I've been hearing about this, and just to hear directly from someone at Groq say this like publicly. I mean, I think other people have said it online publicly, but just to get it on my live stream, because I think sometimes, a lot of these model providers that like that's kind of their business model. It's like, hey, we'll provide you this thing for almost free, and by the way, we're just going to train on everything you put in there. And so that's really amazing that you guys do that and provide that available. So as far as like this model, I know people are talking about like the parameters and everything like that. What are kind of some of the limits that people may run into? And like, are you guys kind of, like if I sign up for free today, will I have a lot of access to it, or kind of like what are some of the rate limits right now? Or what are some of the kind of gotchas that people should be kind of considering?
I think one of the biggest ones is that everybody has been hungering for access to Kimi K2. So we're always trying to provide as much inference as possible to all of the developers using Groq. But the sheer amount of demand that we have right now is absolutely insane. So you may experience some like reduced rate limits, but if you upgrade to the dev tier, you should be able to access Kimi to your heart's content.
Wow. So yeah, as of right now, it's currently served at 250 tokens per second. So that's the input output. And it looks like we also will have access to tool use and JSON mode. And so yeah, with this 1 trillion total parameters and 32 billion active parameters, can you explain a little bit more about like what a mixtures of experts means? And like, because a lot of people hear these terms and they're being tossed around a lot. Maybe if there's like an easier way to kind of explain like this infrastructure and maybe why this model is kind of has been taking over like the news cycle. A lot of people are saying like this is possibly like the next DeepSeek moment for the US model providers. Like what makes this so good, and does this even have anything to play with how this is actually working and so forth?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, an MOE is basically a mixture of experts. So in most large language models or neural networks, if you inference the model, it goes through every layer and activates every single parameter in that model, which means that there's a lot of computation that needs to be done for each token to be inferenced. With a mixture of experts model, the model itself will intelligently route to specific parameters within the model and inference only those. So it's a lot less computationally expensive to inference a single token.
Hmm.
Uh,
And
I
for those
think
who are
one of the
kind of
biggest
wondering,
points,
like what inference
yeah,
is, like what is the word kind of inference in this, like, bigger picture of things? Because some people are kind of like maybe familiar with the field, but they just hear these terms and maybe not be familiar with what that is. Yeah.
yeah, that's a great question. So when you actually run a large language model or any form of neural network, that's what you call inference. So there are two stages to actually like using large language models. Number one is when you train it, basically teach it to uh, actually do what you want it to do, and then you inference it to actually use the model.
Yes, and there's basically a whole science for like providing inference. So when you deploy these models onto these data centers, depending on the chipset and whatever the is running, you actually have to write either custom software to kind of interface for that, so that whenever you're making an API request, it gets routed to all the correct locations, and that you're actually utilizing all the weights of the model to get whatever you need to do. And so whenever you have something like this, it's maybe the mixtures of experts, it's not activating every single GPU cluster, right? But it's actually activating, like it's kind of going through this like routing kind of type of thing through that whole platform. And bringing up something like this that is like 1 trillion parameters. So DeepSeek was like 671 billion parameters. This is now, 1 trillion, but then you have these experts that are kind of laid out. And the effort to do this, I would love to hear a little bit more about kind of how you go from day zero like decision to like 72 hours later. Now we have this model available for everyone, and the fact that you're even serving it this fast, like you're serving it faster than even Moonshot themselves. Like, what's kind of the sauce, and like why does Groq do this? And tell me more about like the hardware that you guys are running with.
For sure. Yeah, so our secret sauce is 100% in the fact that our chip is built specifically for AI inference. So if you look at any of the chips from NVIDIA, the GPUs, like the H100s, or even some of the GPUs that you guys might have, like 3090s, 4090s, 5090s, uh, you can do both training and inference on them. So it's very much like a dual purpose chip. When Jonathan, our CEO, founded Groq, he focused singularly onto the vision that we are going to make a chip that is really, really good at inferencing the model only. We're not going to care about training at all. So that's allowed us to do a lot of optimizations to the chip that make it much, much faster. So in terms of actually like bringing up the model, when you have a model of this size, even when you're running on GPUs, there are a lot of issues that you're going to run into because you have to shard the model across multiple different systems since it's so large.
Mm.
We don't have that issue because we usually shard almost every model that we run across multiple systems. So we are very, very used to running inference across multiple different chips and systems in a way that most providers who use NVIDIA chips are not. In, yeah.
Yeah. So for those like who are wondering kind of why do you guys work faster than other models? Like it's just like the chipset, like just the actual thoughtfulness in terms of, okay, if we're only going to specifically focus on making sure that people, when they connect to us, get the best possible experience as possible. We're talking about, really high level experts and low level experts coming together and thinking about every single part of the process, from like the actual bare metal, the chip design, all the way up to where the user is. And so that is everything from like network latency, how many of these actual computers are there, and like when they're sending a request across, like what is like the millisecond like lead time. Whenever you add like a new computer, you're adding an extra like basically hop in this whole skip of where everything is going, right? So if you have 10 computers hooked up, 1,000 computers hooked up, all of them are running GPUs, right? Like every single parameter is going to increase the memory usage and context and everything more and more. So you're basically going to get more latency the higher you keep stacking these computers up. And so this is like a crazy problem to solve. But like these guys from the very beginning, I mean, the company was founded, in 2017, 2018 or something like that? Yeah.
2016, 2017.
2016. This is like almost a decade ago, before like ChatGPT was even conceptualized. GPT-2, like this is early era thinking, right? Jonathan, who worked at Google, like around the TPU scene, I'm really curious to kind of see that evolution, but I want to get people back more into like the Kimi stuff. I can nerd out on this. I love this stuff so much because I still need to get everyone back onto, if you've made it this far, we're going to get into a little bit of how to configure this so you can get this set up. So make sure you stay tuned because this live stream is still going to keep going. We're going to have a setup with this. We're also going to have a surprise guest. His name is Manuel, aka Program with AI, who's going to be hopping in probably like in 10, 15 minutes or less than that. And we're going to do some demos with him prompting, and we're going to be just burning all of your guys's like LPUs down, language processing units, as we kind of continue these things. So Groq. So you guys are focusing basically on providing inference, making everything fast AF, getting these models on board as fast as possible, using your guys' custom software techniques and so forth. So for those who are wondering, like everyone's like, okay, what's the quantization? What's this and that? Because of the LPU and their current stack and infrastructure, it's kind of like saying, hey, Google, what's your TPU stack? It's very technical and very specific to serving the models. And so as far as like what you get the models, like the weights are on there, they're loaded, and the model card and everything is currently available on console.groq.com. So you can kind of take a look at the specific types of things that they are offering. So as of now, the context length for this type of model is actually 131,000 there, and then the output would be 16,000. So the cost would be basically $1 per million versus the output of $3. And so if you basically want faster inference, this is probably going to be the best way to get this. If you want to go through Moonshot, yesterday it took me to get 100K token request, it took me 3+ minutes. Where here it's going to take seconds. So if you value your time and you want something, the other part of it is the data privacy thing. The fact that you guys, I send my stuff up, you provide the inference and then everything gets wiped out. No one is really doing this in the industry. And I applaud you guys heavily for doing that. I think that's just amazing because I can make AI apps and things on top of your guys' platforms, and I can pass that down to my users and say, yo, I'm not storing your data. Like, I don't have any reason to anyways. I just want to provide you the best service as fast as possible. I think that's so cool, right?
There's no financial incentive on our part to store your data because we don't do training. Like our chips physically are not built for them. So why would we store your data to train on it? That's the thought process behind it.
That's awesome. That's so ridiculously cool. So Rick Lammer is just saying, just added Kimi K2 to Groq Desktop. What is Groq Desktop? I got to check this out.
Wow. It's essentially an open source project that has a bunch of support for just chatting with our models. You can chat with any model that's hosted on Groq infrastructure, and you can also connect your own MCPs to it. So you can chat with MCP support.
Oh my goodness. That is absolutely bonkers. I've dropped the link right here. Y'all have to check this out. So obviously github.com/Groq. There's Groq-desktop-beta. And if you hit this up, you'll basically see this here, and you should be able to just download the app and then just, that's awesome. So you can just literally chat the whole interface, MCP setup and everything, test the tool calling. You can test everything here. Whoa, this is so fire. Thank you so much. I mean, this is blowing people's minds right now. This is like such a cool bonus. Rick Lauber is coming through.
Rick has been cooking with it.
Dude, Rick.
We have actually a newer version of it coming out very soon that's going to be a lot better in terms of UI.
Is it Rick Lammer's IO?
It's a little bit of alpha.
Yeah, and Rick writes some like legendary posts. I think he has a blog or something that you can kind of sign up for. But yeah, if you follow Rick, definitely go ahead and check him out. He's one of the engineers at Groq, super duper cracked. Constantly cooking. I think I remember having lunch with him and he was talking once about like, yeah, so like these models are really good at like interpreting code. So if I needed something in C, I kind of wrote it in Python and then had it like interpret it in C and then like launch itself into another thing. And I think this is like before agents and stuff. So I mean, he's probably like cooking some crazy stuff now. So I'm super duper excited. How did I not know about Groq before? Yeah, dude, Groq, Robin, you need to get on Groq. Robin, who also has like a huge following on YouTube. Like you all need to get on this like yesterday because the inference speed, everything is just ridiculously fast. Yes, Groq actually has a desktop app and we're looking at it right now. So that's that Groq desktop beta. Make sure you get on that. You can basically just clone it and then just basically get it running just by running the commands here just to get going. So that's really, really cool. Dang, this is really awesome. I'm like dead. We can connect MCP straight to Kimi through open source. Yeah. Pretty much, dude. This is the sauce right here. If you're tuned in, you're like, we're bleeding edge right now. And not only are you connecting to Kimi, by the way, you're connecting with some fast AF inference. You know what I mean? On top of that, like the data privacy thing, like to me is the biggest thing, especially about this model, because I know a lot of people are really conscious about sending their data to these different data centers and various stuff like that and kind of what's going on. So let me just kind of do a really quick math breakdown here on kind of what this architecture kind of looks like. So we're talking just a really simplified, a high level overview of Kimi K2. And like, these are like the weights, the model weights here. And then this is the Moonshot API provider that's currently in China. So yesterday we hooked up Claude code to that. So whatever we're sending there, we're basically sending it into this region and their laws and whatever stuff they have there. And then when we were using Open Router yesterday, we were sending that over to some North American regions. So it's basically what we're doing here is kind of doing the same setup here. We're getting these model weights. And so now instead of sending them to Open Router, we're going to send them over to Groq as far as the API provider. And so they're also in North America. And I think they have a region you said in Helsinki, something like that.
Yeah, we have regions around the world, but this model is currently running in the United States and in Finland.
Dude, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. And so whenever you hit this base URL up here, you're basically just saying, okay, I'm going to just hook you guys up to this specific type of thing. And so as far as like the weights, like it's not really a database. It's just like a picture there. Like they're not storing anything. So they're just saying, hey, we're just going to send you your stuff back to wherever your request is. And then you're pretty much done. Like, you know, there's nothing going to any other region, you know, anywhere else. You know, all the processing gets done there and at a fraction of the cost, you know, compared to using Claude for Opus or Claude Sonnet. I mean, for Opus, you're talking about $15 for the input and like $75 out. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. This, yeah, it's so ridiculous. I don't know, man. Like, let's just see if I can cook up another thing here. Let's like open up a new chat and see if I can kind of do something real quick. It's like, can you make me an interactive Mario game inside a single HTML file so I can use it in my browser? So yeah, we're basically just going to run this right now using, bruh, bro, this is insane.
Too fast.
Bro, this is using Moonshot, Kimi K2 instruct inside of Groq. We're cooking, bro. What the heck? And it's even adding suggestions. Can you add sound effects and background music to the game? How do I add more levels to make this? Is crazy. Let's see if I could I preview this? Is it even working yet? It's like, let's see. Can you include power-ups? Like, is there a way to run mobile so I can do touch controls? Like, can you make the game start? I just see a blue screen. That's so crazy. It's like, yeah, definitely. This is absolutely ridiculously fast, man. Holy smokes. Save it as Mario HTML. And then, yeah, we should be able to run the, oh, God, I'm going to just break the whole thing. Yeah. And I love all the like follow-up responses and stuff like that. And I'm going to see if I can just kind of give it like the final HTML file. This is, bro, I'm just burning tokens right now. I don't really feel guilty, to be honest, because that was my problem before. It's like, can you make it just one file and give me everything? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to say, okay, cool. So I'm going to just let it cook. In it, just give me the whole thing in the browser. This is so crazy as far as what people are going to be able to do here. And this is just a really quick first look at it kind of generating this stuff. I'm really curious to get it kind of set up right now in these other different types of things like in Klein, in RepoPrompt, and so forth. So yeah, Arush, thank you so much for hopping on the stream really quickly. If anyone has any questions right now, let's just see if I can get to some quick audience questions before you head on out, because I know you're a really busy man and you got a lot of stuff to do. But I would love to get to some people's questions. So someone says, Eek says, might need to integrate Groq in my Arch Hyperland config. That'll be super crazy. We're not cooking, we're zap cooking.
Two things that I'd like to like emphasize here before like we get into audience questions. Number one is that we have a free tier, so you guys can use this for completely free up until like a certain limit, just through the Groq API. And we have like native integrations with like RuCode, Klein, OpenCode. So you guys can like start using this to like in your own agentic coding workflows as much as you want.
Wow. Oh yeah, that's right. So this is available for OpenCode. I saw a post last night from Dax. He actually got it configured or something like that. And so OpenCode, for those who are wondering, it's like a version of Claude Code, but it's developed by these guys, Dax and some other developers who run this open source program, which will allow us to connect the endpoint. So that'd be kind of fun. Maybe we get that set up in stream, because then we can make some really cool stuff from that. That's awesome. Holy smokes. Someone in the chat, I just joined. What's this best use for in a nutshell? You mean the Kimi K2? Yeah, I think you kind of answered that as far as like agentic coding, AI coding, and so forth. If you want to generate code, it's like super duper fast. Anywhere where you were using Claude Sonnet or Claude 4 Opus, you can try using this type of model. It's always good to have alternatives, because if a model provider is down, for example, Claude Sonnet, and you're so used to coding with that, you want to have other stuff available. But another part of it is the fact that the cost is so much less. So if you are paying, let's just say, for example, you're not on Max Plan, you're a college student, or you just wanted to do some experiments, you can just pop open this model and do some stuff really quickly. If you are running an app, for example, it's going to cost you quite a bit of money to do these types of workflows that you were doing with Claude Sonnet in your app, right? So why not use a provider like Groq? You pay like a fraction of the cost. And now your app is actually, one, it has really fast inference. Two, you have the intelligence of a model like this. So you can do this processing, behind the scenes and then bring it back into your app. So I mean, there's just an infinite number of possibilities you can, especially if you're an app maker. Obviously, if like you're scaling up super fast and super crazy, they're probably going to be trying to scale up this as well. And this is just a really quick first preview look. By the way, this is not like, completely 100% production ready. I mean, it is production ready right now for us to use, but like as an early preview, because there's just so many people who are really interested in this model. And I would definitely encourage you to play. So this is definitely some sauce right here. Everyone's talking about this right now. Yeah, man. Holy smokes. Yeah. Groq, you guys are really cooking. Also appreciate a shout out to all of the engineers at Groq who were able to spend this extra time, who no sleep, team no sleep, everyone around the clock there working to get this thing up and running. Not only up and running, but up and running really fast, and then continuing to improve and get fast. People, like you said, like the OpenCode group and those guys who are, Klein and all these different third-party providers who had issues, everyone's turning around these bug fixes at an incredible speed. As fast as the inference is, so is the bug turnaround. I don't know how these guys do it, but they definitely kill it.
It's insane. We have this one engineer on the inference team. He leads the inference team. His name's Omar. And he basically just decided, okay, we're going to launch Kimi, and he spent 72 hours without sleeping, and he brought the model up. And it's due to Omar magic, YOLO Omar, that you guys have access to Kimi today.
That's really amazing. Yeah, Arush, thank you so much for joining on the stream. It's just been a huge pleasure, and I want to get you guys back on and some other folks at Groq, because this is our first look at it, trying to get ourselves started. And so I'm going to continue the stream to kind of get the API keys set up. So teach people, if you're interested, if you made it this far in the stream, we're going to walk through now how to get this set up so that you can get it going into Klein. So if you wanted to get inside of Cursor, how to get this API key set up so you can actually use it in a ChatGPT-like interface called OpenWebUI. So I'll walk you through some of those steps. And then some other audience questions if you want to get this set up also in RepoPrompt, how to kind of get that set up using the OpenAI endpoint that these guys have, and getting your keys and so forth. So it's free to get started, right? And it's just really, really cheap if you want to bump it to the developer tier to get a bigger rate limit. Groq, super fast, amazing. Thank you so much for joining the stream, Bruce.
Thank you so much for having me, Ray.
Cool. Awesome, man. I'll see you in a bit.
Peace.
Cool. All right, folks. So yeah, that was our quick taking a look here as far as like kind of how this stuff went down. And I think the next step here, like we're saying, is how do we now get this set up so that we can go ahead and run this inside of something like, with our API keys. So in order for you to get your API key, all you do is just go to console.groq.com/keys. And so once you go into here, you'll sign in and do all that good stuff there. You're going to want to go ahead and hit create API key. So you're going to say, YOLO key or something like that. And then once you create your key, it's going to present to you a little dialog saying, hey, here's your API key. So once you have this fancy API key, you're going to want to put it into something like OpenWebUI. And so I'll show you how to get started with OpenWebUI, but it's basically going to look something like this. You go into the settings, and then in your settings, you're going to go to this little pane here that says connections. And so once you hit connections, you're going to say manage direct connections. And so the endpoint that you want to put in is the one from their documentation that says api.groq.com/OpenAI v1. And so this is the actual base URL that we will use for all the requests. And once you paste this API key in here, you'll be pretty much set up in there. It's going to automatically pull down all of the models. So we'll actually see all of the models that are currently available in basically Groq. So Groq will have this type of thing here, and it'll list all the models. And so the one that I selected, if you just type in moonshot, you'll see Kimi K2 -instruct. And that's actually the model that's currently listed here on Groq's console website. And so it's moonshot/Kimi-K2 instruct. And that's how you're able to try it there. Let's just say you don't have the OpenWebUI stuff installed and you kind of wanted to try this on Groq's website without too much configuration. Let me just go ahead and paste this in here into the chat, so that way you can kind of go ahead and check this website out. So on the console website, once you kind of sign into Groq and you can kind of check out the model, they have a little playground here. So if we go try in the playground, this is actually where you may have seen some demos from people, and some of the demos may have shown how fast this is using this type of inference. And so if we kind of go take a look here, you can actually go hit chat or hit studio. So the studio will kind of show you some of these options here as far as like crafting your prompts and what you want to do. But if you just want to do a quick chat, this is kind of what we need here. And I could just say, yo, let me cook. And I hit submit, and we'll actually see it kind of doing its inference here. So it actually tells us that it took like 200 something. I don't even know what actually my message was. I don't see a message. What is your role? Oh, I see. Submit. Okay. I think studio. Oh, here we go. Here's the response. Yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, what is your role? Like, let me cook. Submit. And then we'll see it super fast. It tells us how many tokens. Like, make a snake game. Everyone's favorite thing to do. Submit. And you'll see it like, boom. It just keeps going. That was, oh my goodness. 425 tokens per second. Damn. This is insane. All right. Wow. I'm having too much fun with this. This is like, yeah. How is it possible to use it in Klein and Cursor? Let's do that right now. Let's do that right now. Since y'all are asking right this, let's just do this. All right. So in order to use this inside of a Klein and Cursor, let's just go ahead and go through that, Rich. I really appreciate that. So if you hit this little arrow here, we should have an extensions thing that we should be able to find. So if we go to extensions, we type in Klein. I have not done this myself, so we're literally just going to do this live because that's how we roll. I just do everything live. All right, so if we type in Klein, we have this Klein thing. We hit install. Do you trust the publisher? Is this the right one? Is it Klein? Let's see. Yeah, potential spam calling me. Trust publisher and install. All right, I'm just going to YOLO this, but if I get a virus, I don't know. So yeah, this is me one-shotting code over here. Let me just stop that. Okay. And then we get rid of this here. Okay. So now that we have Klein installed, we should be able to configure it somewhere. And if we go to settings, right? Klein. Let's see. If I go to extensions, Klein here. Hold on. There was a way. Enter your task. It should show up over here as like a little an extension on the top. Oh, here we go. Okay. So if we see this little thing on the side, now it just shows Klein on the top. And so let me just kind of show this up here. So there's this little drop down up here, and it will show Explorer, this little magnifying glass, and now Klein gets installed as its little agent here. So for those who aren't familiar, Klein is basically its own agent, and we can basically feed it in our own API key and stuff like that from all these providers. So let's see. I think if we do use our own API key, we should be able to select Groq, Groq, from the drop-down list. Let's see. Anthropic, Claude Code, DeepSeek, OpenAI. Yo, I thought Groq was in here. Yo, I thought they had it. Hold on. OpenAI compatible. Okay, so maybe we'll just use the OpenAI compatible in this thing. So that's probably easier. So remember how I was showing you that the OpenAI compatible key is this guy here? So it's the OpenAI compatible key is, yeah, okay. Ben is saying that you have to use the OpenAI compatible. So this is the actual base URL that I'm basically dropping in there for the Groq API endpoint. So that's basically what we'll have to do there. And then, yeah, don't install extensions from unknown developers. It's the best way for a dev to get hacked. Yeah. So I'm curious because there's only 2 stars on this, and it has a whole bunch of downloads, and the publisher is this guy. So I'm not actually sure if this is like the right Klein, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of why I was like, I think this is the right Klein though, right? It has all this downloads. Well, how does it have only 2-star rating? Am I right? Import extensions from VS Code. I don't have VS Code installed. Okay. But basically, we'll do it like this, and I'll just revoke the key. But yeah, I think if we go to here, Klein, and then it says enter API compatible key. So the key we'll put in is the one basically that you get from Groq. So I have a key that's currently available. And then I'm going to see if I can blur my screen and before I paste the key in and see if it like makes any difference here. Yeah, so this is cool. I'm able to paste the key in, and then let me just go ahead and unblur it now. And so I should be able to kind of unblur. And then as far as the model that we're going to mess with, it's going to be this specific one called the Moonshot Kimi K2 Instruct. So I should, copy this key here, or copy this model, and then go back into here, and I should be able to just paste in the model ID. And then I don't think we need any custom headers. So let's say, let's go. So let's see. Okay, cool. So help improve Klein. We're good. What's your task here? So I have an app, and I think I just shipped it. Let's see. Okay, we're good here. Let me just go ahead and see if I can just give it something like, can you help me? Can you read through the trial code and let me know if I fix the expiration for it? Let's see if I can kind of see what's going on here. This is just us setting it up in Klein. Okay, wow. Oh, so it's now trying to read the file. Let me check if, wow. Okay, so it's working now. And yeah, so it's read through the trial code. This is actually just using the Groq endpoint, which is super fast. And here we are. And we can actually see how many tokens are being used up in real time. That's crazy. Okay, so I read through the trial code. And so it wants to read a file. And then it did an API request. And then now it's looking for other files like in the directory. So this is basically using the Klein agent itself. And it wants to search for these files. Okay, so it's doing its thing. So this is totally doing its own tool calling, by the way. And this is, yeah, wow. And it's actually looking through my schemas now, which is really awesome in my app. And it's the trial invite system. So it actually found this table. And then the system appears to handle the trial expiration automatically. Awesome. It even fixed it as well. I had a bug. The current timestamp calculation is using milliseconds. Oh, so it corrected the proper storage expiration dates here. So I guess I had a bug and it totally fixed it. Yo, this is crazy. Bro, I'm not ready for this AGI age. This is so crazy, bro. Yo, wait, hold up. Let me see. Did you really cook? No. Okay, I thought it did. I thought it did. It was acting like it did. Task completed. Oh, I think it just verified that I had everything all cleaned up. Start new task enable. So this whole thing took 120K tokens. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, 1 million tokens. Poof. Oh, okay. Cool. Manuel, thank you for dropping by. I'll have to take a look and see, because I know you were going to try to hop in and so forth. But yeah, I think you probably got some stuff going on. Because yeah, I was going to have Manuel on to the stream. For those who aren't familiar, and he's basically his handle is coding with AI, or program with AI, and he's just a phenomenal person who's into like prompting and so forth. And I think he says he's available like in 40-ish minutes. So that was probably like in like around 11 o'clock time frame. So yeah, we'll see if he can get set up. If not, maybe he can help me just with some basic prompts and stuff, which would be kind of fun. And so I was just checking my direct messages there. So yeah, that's Klein really quick, set up inside of Cursor. So now that we have this set up, let's see if I can kind of see if, let's see, after analyzing the trial code, I can confirm the trial expiration has been properly fixed. Okay, was there a problem before? I'm just really curious. So it's making an API request. Based on your question, it sounds like you might be asking if there's a specific problem. This will help me. Could you clarify the specific problem you encountered with the trial? No, I think that should be okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, for those who aren't familiar, my app is called Ray Transcribes. So if you go to raytranscribes.com, basically what my app does is I found this like low-key SEO hack, and not a lot of people have discovered it, but I'm trying to help people discover this problem. You can actually upload your transcripts to your YouTube videos. And what ends up happening is you start ranking on Google super fast, especially with trending topics. And so I've been able to trend jack like by making live streams and talking about these things. And because I use these specific keywords for these types of things, when everyone searches like Kimi like K2 or something on Google, you basically see like some of my videos start showing up on the live streams and stuff. So like if I do Kimi K2 Claude Code. So like the Claude Code setup video is actually kind of starting to rank now on Google. And this is like a 1 hour live stream, right? So like literally I do the live stream talking about it. And this is 21 hours ago. So these people's videos have already been out, but mine's is only like 21 hours fresh. So I actually have a screenshot because yesterday I posted this on X, like within 4 hours, I already started ranking, which is really absolutely insane. And so this is kind of like my little cheat code. On my app, I just shipped this yesterday, basically allows you to add a word list. So when you do like a transcription for like a big live stream like this, I have a custom dictionary that's available here. So I can add in words that always kind of get misspelled. So like I could say, I mean, Kimi K2 and everything is pretty fine. So when I run this through, like, yeah, this is about an hour live stream. I do some pre-processing, on my client side. And this is totally written in Next.js. And I'm using Convex for the database. And that's how I'm able to kind of keep adding these other features in. And one of my favorite features of Convex is the reactivity of it. So I can have multiple windows open. I can edit the word list and it's going to edit across all of the windows, which is super nice. But I'm planning to add more features like, history and a bunch of other things that are available. And then as far as like endpoints and things like that, Groq is one of my providers. I have some other fallback providers as well so that, I can get this to you as fast as possible. So literally I can take, I think this live stream is about an hour and a half or something like that, or a couple of hours. I forget which one I gave it. But this is basically doing the transcription super duper fast. A lot of other people, yeah, this is already done. This is awesome. So let's just kind of take a look at the actual things. And you can see Claude Code is correctly mentioned. It usually says Cloud Code. But because I have the word list that's there, this is something that I added. It makes it much more accurate. So this entire live stream I did is about an hour and 3 seconds. Yeah, an hour long. So we transcribed that whole thing in the correct formatting, 42 characters long and all that stuff with no words cut off. So I do a bunch of extra, like processing to make sure that everything kind of fits the standards there. And so this is something that I've been building and I've been using Claude Code a lot. And I use Claude Code to literally add this feature in one shot. And so, yeah, I have a little bit of a prompt guide for how I did that. But basically, let me see if, I don't know if my Claude, it's not going to show my Claude Code session, but yeah, that is what it is there. So that's how do you get that configured in Klein. And so we used about 141 tokens up, 182 down. We still have a context window that's available. And it looks like you could even start new tasks or start new chat windows with Klein. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So it looks like it also supports MCP servers. So you can connect MCP servers. And so you can use Klein inside of Cursor this way. And that way you can have maybe some other type of thing that's not Claude Code. And that way, if you do run out of limits inside of Cursor, for example, if you run out of all your stuff there, and you don't want to do pay as you go. To me, for planning and everything, that can be really cool, because the fact that we just saw it search through my code, do these agentic calls to search through other files. I think this is just a really good way to kind of get started there. So yeah, that's what's up. Let's see. Let me just kind of catch up with the chat a little bit. Let's see. How about setting it up in Cursor directly? Clint, there is a way to set this up in Cursor directly. And if we wanted to do that, we will lose out on a couple of things. One is if you go into the models and we hit API keys, in here, we'll have to change out the OpenAI API key and override the base URL. Once we do that, what ends up happening is the fact that now every request that you make in the chat will just be done through not agent mode, but it'll have to be done through ask mode or chat mode. And so what that means is basically you lose out on the agentic tool calling. And so if you want to go back to the Cursor models, you have to turn off the API key or disable that feature so that you can turn it, like that's actually what I had to do here. So I have to like literally disable this so I can just go back to using the agent down below here. So whenever I turn this back on and I set, mine's currently set to open router. But if I change this to Groq, the endpoint, and put my key in here, like I can't use the agent. So watch this. I'll turn this on right now. It says, you can put your API key to use Cursor at public API costs. This costs more than Pro and it won't work for custom model features. So the custom model features they're talking about here is like literally the agentic tool calling and stuff. So we turn this on. It says, are you sure you want to enable your own custom keys? Several Cursor's features require custom models like tab to apply, tab apply from chat composer, which cannot be built to an API key. So just an FYI. So it basically just turns this into a glorified chat window. And technically, you're probably just better off just using something like Klein or something else as far as a plugin where you can actually do an interactive chat here. And so that's probably the way that I would prefer to do that if you're kind of thinking about whether to put this in Cursor or not. So would you have an agent that transcribes your live stream on a 5-minute delay? So once it's ready, it's ready within minutes. I'm experimenting with this idea right now, Chris, but I find a lot more value just kind of doing it at the end. And then also having this timestamp type of thing available. I think there's going to be, I'm more interested in actually having an agent scrape my live stream like comments, because I can't keep up with the comments now. There's so much stuff going on, and I want to make sure that at least my members get through. So I try to like scrub my comments for members and stuff really quickly so that I can kind of go ahead and find them. So yeah. Oh, losing out on the tools and agentic sucks. I was wanting to use Groq today, and I found this live stream. Oh yeah. So you can use Groq today, and I would suggest you use it through Klein. There's a couple other workflows that we want to go ahead and do this with. So let's go ahead and see if we can get into those, by the way. So one of the things we talked about was using Klein inside of Cursor. So we kind of have that checked off there. Another one was using RepoPrompt inside with Groq. So I know some folks who are signed up with RepoPrompt, and this is kind of one of my favorite apps to use it in. And so to use it inside of RepoPrompt, all you have to do is just go into the API settings here. So if you hit this little gear right up here at the very top, it's going to pop in an API settings. And then if you kind of go through, there's these different sections. The one we're taking a look at here is the API settings, custom API. And then once you go over here, you're going to type in that same base URL that we typed in earlier. So that's going to be that API/Groq v1 type of thing. I'll just put that again in the chat for those who are wondering. I'm just going to keep spamming this in the chat. Once you put that in, you're going to put your API key below, just as we see there. And you notice this is the default output max tokens. According to the specs here, we can actually bump that up. So this here is currently showing the output tokens are actually 16,384. So let's go ahead and bump that up. 16,384. Okay, so that way our output is actually much higher. If you know what I mean, we're not going to nerf ourselves. So we basically hit that. We do validate and save. Oh, before we do that, by the way, Moonshot will not be listed. So you have to type in Moonshot, and then you'll see it, Kimi K2 instruct. Make sure you hit that plus icon there, so then you'll have that whole thing there. Once you see that, let's go ahead and validate and save. Everything's good. And then now we actually have it available inside of our chat here. So there appears to be a bug, I think, with RepoPrompt where this little thing, the settings gear is kind of, you close it, but it's still kind of overlaid on top. So I don't know. I'll have to hit up Eric to fix that. Anyways, so once we have this in here, we basically just have it available. So this was my prompt authoring prompt. So this is something I was using I'm basically making this multi-step workflow when I'm doing my transcripts. So my goal is to get the transcripts, generate the timestamps, but then I'm making an agent workflow where I'm going to do YouTube titles, like better YouTube titles, better YouTube descriptions. And then I'm also doing a third workflow where I'm going to extract like social media clips that are actually more interesting. So Google is really good at this, but I'm going to be curious at throwing this at some other places. So when I do prompt authoring, I really love to use Claude Sonnet or Claude Opus to help me generate new prompts. But with this new Kimi K2 model, it is really good. So let's just try it with Groq. I haven't tried it with the Groq provider, so this is going to be really fun to use this inside of RepoPrompt live. So I have my prompt here. I've selected in my prompts dropdown this thing called prompt authoring. So this basically is something that Eric made that it comes default. Will basically tell the language model not to follow the prompt, and it's inside of its own little meta tags. I've given it some examples as far as my conversations with Google Gemini and how I generate timestamps and some examples. And then I've also generated some example like descriptions for YouTube that I had that I really like. So I basically just did that here. I'm just going to go ahead and go into the chat now. And I'm just going to see if I can, if I could just go ahead, hit this little chat thing here. In the chat drop-down window, I should be able to go into here, chat. And then over here, instead of selecting Open Router, I'm going to go ahead and select Custom, and it's going to say Moonshot Kimi K2. So I'm going to select that one. So now it says Custom, so we should be using the Groq endpoint for this. And we should see the prompt thing here. I'm just going to hit Start, and it's going to start the chat. Boom. Damn, it's so fast. Jesus. This is so ridiculously fast. So yeah, it came back with the whole prompt here. Did I do a file tree? I don't think I need a file tree yet. Prompts, it shows my stored prompts. So yeah, this next message is 7.9K tokens. Okay, this is pretty cool. Wow. Okay, so it says step 1, create the first prompt in the SRT timestamp. So this is actually the new prompt that it's giving me. And it's giving me the timestamps to YouTube copy as well for doing that, for the output format. And then the full chain example is going to be step 1, do that. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do that. And so, oh, I see. It's going to want to actually update my own prompt here. So that's pretty cool. So I can just say, instead of edit, I'm going to just do chat. I'm going to just try again. This is so cool. Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's just a little bit of how this is like, I haven't really done a lot of chat in here. So I'm just really curious how this thing actually kind of works here. So this is kind of a new type of thing. These little tabs here are the ones that allow you to kind of do the little chatting here. So yeah, that's really interesting. So if I hit copy, I should be able to copy this prompt out, by the way, and we can go back to the playground and I could just paste it in here. So you can actually see what this looks like in like an actual chat window. So this is my entire prompt. I'm going to move my head out of the way and kind of change some of the windows here. And so I copied the prompt from RepoPrompt, and this is exactly what it looks like. One of the advantages of using RepoPrompt is you can see everything here. And so these are all of the instructions kind of nailed down. And you can kind of see how he has these nice metadata clean tags here. And so in here, we're using the same thing in the playground. So this is console.groq.com, literally going to the playground. We're going to hit, I'm going to hit, let's see, there's nothing in the studio. Okay, so we're just going to go hit enter. I think we should be able to go from here. Let's see, clear. Okay. Go paste this in and hit enter. New message. Hold on. Oh yeah, submit. Sorry. I had to hit the submit button. My bad. Here we go. So here's the response back from Groq. It has 228K tokens. Let's see. Oh, the max completion tokens, maybe it's kind of ran out, right? So maybe I want it more. So I'll just do, yeah, let's max it out. Let me go ahead and submit again. Yeah. This is plain and this is markdown. Cool. So yeah, it didn't give me like the full response like it did using the other platform. So I'm just really curious kind of what some of these parameters are and maybe what other things I should be tweaking as an FYI. So, that's really interesting. I also don't have a system prompt. So it's possible like the system prompt and this meta instructions could have an influence on this. And this is something I'll probably have to experiment with. It's something that you should also experiment with if you have any problems, is that there's always going to be a way for like these models all behave a little bit differently. So if you don't have any system prompt instructions, your output actually may vary. So yeah, to me, I think that's a really interesting insight here that we just literally gave it the same prompt. I didn't get as much as I normally would using this provider. So yeah, no, that's a really, really cool thing. That's awesome. So that's RepoPrompt, that's Klein. And then the other thing I want to show you for the last part is how do we get this in like a web UI? So this web UI is something that you can use to basically have your own version of ChatGPT. And what's nice about it is it's self-hosted. So this interface will allow you to run it locally. Like if you have local models, you can download them. You can use API endpoints like we're using on Groq. And then all your chat history is saved, so you can always have this available in the future and so forth. And there's even advanced ways if you want to, and that's a whole different beast. But you can actually serve this out to your like basically your house, right around your house. So this is the way you would do it. So if you go to OpenWebUI.com, OpenWebUI.com this is how we're going to get started with this. OpenWebUI.com. I'll put this in the chat. Yes. So OpenWebUI.com will take you here. And then at the very bottom here, we'll see this thing, get OpenWebUI. And so this will actually take us to the GitHub repo. And so this GitHub repo is going to have instructions for us to get started. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming or daunting. There is this cool documentation website. If you just go here, it says, for more information, check out the OpenWebUI documentation. So we're just going to go ahead and click that. On here, there's a getting started. So the getting started is really, really nice. because there's just a quick start guide here that we'll just follow. So what this does is actually requires Docker. So in order for you to get Docker, it's a really simple install on a Mac and PC. Just go to docker.com. Once you go to docker.com, you could just go ahead and download Docker Desktop. So download the Docker Desktop for your specific platform, Mac, PC, Linux. And from there, once you have it installed, you're pretty much up and running. It's pretty awesome. It's just super self-contained. It's really nice to have something like that getting it set up. So one of the quick start options that you want to do is go to just run this command. It says docker pull this. And so you'll basically pull this type of thing, and then you just run it by running the container using this specific command. And so if you have an NVIDIA GPU, you'll probably want to use the GPU support. So instead of running step 2, I would just run this command here, and you can see it adds this flag called GPU-all, GPUs all on the Docker run. And so that, other than that, if you don't have it, like if you have a Mac like me, all you have to do is just go ahead and just run this command to run the container. So once the container is running, all you have to do now is just go to localhost 3000, and you'll have your own web interface just like this. And so with this web interface, what it basically allows you to do is to chat with any of the models. There's like a whole model dropdown of stuff that's available. And so at the very bottom here, let me see if I can kind of pull this window up a little bit more so you can see it. Okay, you'll see this thing called test. And then at the very beginning, you'll have to make an admin account. So the admin account is the one you'll want to log in case you forget your password or anything like that. This is all stored locally. This is nothing stored on any server. It just stores it in a local database there. So you'll want to go ahead and take a look and say, go to settings after you get everything set up. And inside of settings, you'll want to go where it says connections. And so in this connections area is where you put in that base URL. So say api.groq.com/OpenAI v1. Once you put that in there, you'll then paste in your API key from the Groq console that you got, and you hit save. And so the models will then get loaded. So when you hit a new chat window, just like we are here, you'll actually see it listed as far as like the type of models you want. So you can just type in Kimi K2 instruct. So this is the model that's currently on Groq. So you just go here. And so now you have this model here. I'm going to say set as default. So this is going to be my default model. Every time I open a new chat window, I don't have to keep selecting the model. It'll always show it here. So you can just say, so yeah, you can just say, you know, make me a quick snake game that will be multiplayer with AI and can run in a browser using all the latest frameworks to make it fancy. It should be a single HTML file. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go. So we're basically just using the Groq endpoint. So fast. It's so ridiculously fast. It's just, I still can't get over how fast this is to run Kimi K2, and it's like doing the whole thing there. And so the advantage of this OpenWebUI platform is the fact that it also has like this code interpreter built in. You can preview this stuff if you want to preview it. You know, you can basically just do anything you want. So as far as like an HTML file, it should be able to preview this file. I'm not really sure why it's not. It says I don't see a preview. The preview. Can you fix it? And then that's crazy. That's so crazy that it's like already running in our browser. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on here or what this is. Like maybe I should actually be able to download the game and run it. I'm not exactly sure. Can you give me can you fix it? And then maybe say, can you fix it and give me the entire game in the file? Let me just do that. What? Oh, it already was fixed. My bad. I just didn't refresh the browser or something like that. Let's just go ahead and see. Can I should just refresh this. Refresh. Oh my goodness, this is too crazy. Y'all crazy out here. Let's see. Preview. Oh. It's a WASD. Let's see. Yeah. Let me go back to the previous version. Play again. Add AI snake. Okay, play again. Yo, this is add AI snake. Reset. Yo, okay. I'm having too much fun out here. Okay. Yeah. So click the preview button. Yeah. I think I totally messed it up. Yeah. So reset. Yeah. Let's see. Like, whoops. I don't even know what I'm doing. I say adding the preview. Adding an AI snake did nothing. Make it do something with custom logic. This is so crazy. Yeah. Cool. Man, this thing is blazing fast. This is so crazy. Hit preview. Okay. I'm so bad at game making. Yeah, I probably just have to refresh my browser at the bottom. Hit preview. Add AI snake. I don't know what it's doing. Reset. Yeah, the reset button doesn't work. It's okay. It's okay. But, sir, can you build a full stack Web 3D? Yeah, I don't know what the Web 3D frameworks are, but let's just go and see if we can look it up. Let's see. I want to build a full stack Web 3D game, and I need to know what frameworks to use. Dang. Wow. Okay, so it's like Babylon JS graphics, backend runtime, Node.js. What are the most modern ones? I know people talk about 3.js or 3.js. Oh, wow. If I wanted to make my own teleport game, what do you think are some of the characters and some of the thinking I should use for the architecture here? Man, we're just going to make a straight up game, huh? Let's see. If I were to make a 3D teleport game, what are the architectures for the characters and the entity relationships I should start considering for this type of game? I want quite a bit of detail since entity relationship should be important to how everything is mapped in the game, because I want efficient and dry code. Let's see. Okay, let's just see how it thinks about architecture here. Just really curious. I like this. This is too crazy. I can't even keep up with the speed. I can't even read this fast. Okay, below its reference arc for 3D teleporter shooter is expressed as A, high-level layers, detailed entity model, okay, and then network replication strategy. So the teleport mechanic is 100% authoritative and rollback safe. Ooh. And then a file namespace layout that keeps the code base dry. So when you inevitably add new gadgets and maps and games and things, I kind of want to build this right now, to be honest. Okay, high level runtime layers, a render thread, so for web GPU, a prediction thread for a web worker that runs a lightweight ECS and a client-side rollback. Okay, an asset stream server. Oh, I like this tick loop. Physics world is Rapier, WebAssembly, and then the spatial hash. Okay. Interesting. I've never built a game before, but this is actually kind of looking like a really cool plan. So we'll use a minimal archetype and then identity. So it's going to say, hey, there's an interface for the identity, like a player avatar. I like this. So there's a spatial thing for transformation, teleportation. Okay. There's an interface for teleport destination, which makes sense. Okay. The marker component, physics, interface, rigid body, and then interface collider, and then interface for the gravity. Combat is going to have its thing, armor, shooter. So we just give all these different attributes. For the input, we have a player controller, interface bot, a visual state. Okay, I'm trying to think about all of these coming together. And so there's a relational, okay, this is the mapping I was looking for. So store components in arrays for cache friendliness. So a new world will have this, and then we're basically sending a new identity array with a transform and teleport source. Okay. Wouldn't this, okay. Let's see. I want you to improve on this runtime loop because I think we're going to have a huge memory growth issue as we start to add a lot of characters and a lot of events. I'm just really curious to see how it's going to improve that. It's just kind of just fleshing out the sauce here. Below is a memory hardened 60 hertz runtime loop that keeps the previous ECM schema exactly, but eliminates the 3 biggest sources of unbounded growth we saw in production. It's acting like it's already been in production. This is really interesting. So the component array reallocation. Yeah. Okay. The per frame. So I think this a thing is like the world should only be visible like to as much as you have, in your own little world, right? And then you have to keep track of all these states of these characters in this like little map. And so there should be a way to kind of keep a hash of like everyone's thing in kind of real time. So like when it does a read of it, it should be also kind of write back out the states of everyone else. I don't know how we're going to keep track of this, to be honest. I'm not a game developer, so I have no clue. I'm just trying to think about this from like some really simple first principles type of thing. Actually, that's what I should say. It's like, how would we think about this from a first principles perspective, and how does kind of that get us there? So the string object churn is inside a rewind buffer. The loop is split into 4 different explicit arenas. Everything, strings, JSON, lives, interface, countered blobs that are garbage collected only once per frame. Okay, I like this. Yes. Arena layout, name capacity, the transforms, the physics. Okay. Oh, I like this. So each arena is a single array buffer. So it's a WebAssembly memory block. When an arena is full, we fail fast. So there's no implicit growth, no garbage collection. Capacity numbers are chosen 256 concurrent players. So there's 2K NPCs, tune upward. Okay. And the compiler will catch the object-oriented bounds statically or something like that. Okay, cool. So the frame pipeline has a 0 hot allocation path. Read the network commands in pre-allocated command buffers. So there's no strings. Fixed update physics step. System runs on the arenas, never allocate. Okay. Teleport ring buffer. Okay. Damn. Where is it getting this intelligence from? Like it's writing C code almost. It looks low-key, but it's wow. I'm blown away. Okay, so all the hot path allocations are bump inside. Okay, so now I want to write me the spec for this. Okay, this is a really awesome plan. I want you to write me an extremely detailed PRD so that I can hand off all of these different components to the different teams to implement. The PRD should be in Markdown. This is going to be an architectural technical PRD. So this should kind of give a high level overview for how the team should be thinking about this when they do the implementations. Okay, so let's just go ahead and see what happens. Bruh. Stop it, bro. This is, oh my goodness. Bro. Oh, Groq is cooking. Look at this intelligence. Oh my God. We're using Kimi K2 with Groq in OpenWebUI. You see this conversation I'm having with it just to try to understand. I've never built a game before. Okay, I lie. I may have built the snake game on the command line. I built like a random random number generator in like a command line. I've done mostly command line games. Okay, I did build like a solitaire game in Swift just because I wanted to learn how Swift works. But not like a real full-fledged thinking out every single piece of the component type of game. And what I'm just seeing in this conversation turn here and the speed that I'm able to get this idea just kind of churning. I haven't tried this with Claude Sonnet, Opus, I should probably put this exact same thing into Groq 4 Heavy and see how this does. And that would be a really fun experiment. But look at this PRD we got, bro. I want to build a low latency memory capped 3D multiplayer arena where players and bots teleport across paths to gain tactical advantage and eliminate opponents. So the game runs in a modern browser, so the web GPU with a WebGL2 fallback. I don't even know what half of these things mean. It supports 256 concurrent players and guarantees 30 milliseconds round trip latency inside the same region. I want 60 milliseconds, but I'll take 30 right now because that's okay. So this is the high level architecture. We have a browser client with the Play Canvas engine, and it talks about a render thread, a precision worker, and then asset streaming. So that we sit that through a WebSocket with WebRTC, and it looks like we have an Edge Colossus nodes. I don't even know what that is. So we basically have like a 60 hertz tick. And so that will basically add a lag component buffer and a telemetry anti-cheat. Okay. And then we have a database, Supabase Postgres with player profiles, match history, UGC moderation. And then we have our runtime core requirements. This is pretty cool. So 6 megabytes, less than 6 megabytes resident tick rate. And so the reason why I told it to generate a PRD in this fashion, by the way, is because of the agentic workflow. So by having an architect think about it in this way, you think of each specific specialty as an agent. So what I can do is hand this off into a Claude code-like interface and say, I want you to use sub-agents and start using those sub-agents to schedule tasks. So each sub-agent is going to get their own context window. And within that context window, they'll say, okay, I am in charge of specifically this memory footprint. I'm part of the engine team. And then somebody is going to be in charge of the backend team. So, and then other one's going to be in charge of the infra team. So they basically will start doing their own tasks, saying, I'm done, I'm bubbling this stuff up. And then the person who's in charge of the project, me or maybe another sub-agent or like a high level agent, is going to review those types of things and see how it kind of fits and then do another pass. You're basically just treating them like a software development org. So this is kind of the way you may want to think about how you generate your PRDs, to think about it more in like a Teams fashion, because that'll split out the concerns. And this is just something that people who've worked with software typically do anyways. But this is a perfect structure for actually handing off to AI agents because they're really good at doing very specific things. So whenever you tell a specific sub-agent to be a specialty in a specific type of thing, it's going to be really good at focusing at that and making sure it accomplishes that task within that type of thing. So that's usually how you find these like cracked engineers, because they spend so much time in one specific piece of the field. They're able to get that feedback back super fast for us. So FYI, this is pretty awesome. Wow. I like this plan so far. I'm kind of getting sidetracked here. I know the original thing here was for us to actually see and set up. I think I hooked you guys up for how to get this stuff set up, by the way. If you're looking for how to get this set up, you make sure you go to console.groq.com/keys, OpenWebUI, RepoPrompt, Klein inside a cursor. None of this stuff is sponsored, by the way. This is literally supported from members like you. So everyone who's been able to support, I've been able to, get this stuff going off the ground. My goal is to get my first 100 members. And then I'll have like a full-time like editor that'll be helping me with my live streams to help me kind of cut this stuff up. Because my goal is to get some of these live streams down, cut up into like 3-minute versions, 10-minute versions, so that people who don't have a lot of time, my supporting members, can actually watch them at later times as well. And so a lot of people learn a lot through my live streams, kind of hanging out, and I definitely appreciate that. So if you want to support Ray Fernando, make sure you do that at youtube.com/@RayFernando1337. It's just $6.99 to join until we get 100 members, and we're just going to double the price from there. As of now, while I don't list it on there, you do get access to the Discord. So there's a post that I have available that you'll just, follow the instructions on that post, and then I'll get you into my Discord, and then you can chat with other people who are currently members. So far, we have I think 52 or 54 members who have joined. So there's quite a bit of people that have joined since the last couple of days. And I'm doing this whole thing called Summer of Streaming. So I'm streaming literally every single day, sometime in the morning, usually around 9-ish. And I show up, and so you can come into the Discord or come into the live stream and just literally start asking questions and hanging out, stuff like that. So Manuel, if you're still available, just go ahead and click the link to join the stream, and it would be really fun to kind of have you on the stream. I'm going to make sure I can get that set up here in my messages. I just realized it's just right at the top of the hour. And I'd love to have you prompt and do some stuff here. So he's going to be calling in shortly, and then we can kind of take a look at some of the prompting things, which would be really fun. So yeah, that's Ray Fernando 1337, like in a quick nutshell. For those who are joining in, I used to be an engineer at Apple for 12 years, plus years or so. Worked on a lot of cool stuff, from being at the Genius Bar to being behind the scenes, being in the design studio as well, getting to meet Johnny Ives, and, you know, being like giving the Apple Watch to Tim Cook or Johnny or whoever to, like, you know, with software and all the stuff that we worked on. And I worked on a lot of stuff. So have a lot of experience, from really low level stuff to some high level things in UI, UX, and, you know, from testing to back-end teams and a lot of different things. So I tend to be a jack of all trades, and language models and AI stuff is a huge passion for me. I can't not like stop. Any model release, I'm always like wanting to play with them and try to get the most out of them. So what you're watching me do live is basically share my passion, and other people can learn from this. So I want to make sure that you're all up on this. So let's go ahead and see if we can get Manuel on the stage here. Yo, 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 Manuel, how's it going? Let me add you from the green room into my guest room so that we can kind of see you live. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Hey,
that's not my nick, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to update this right now. So because it's a live stream, we just do everything live.
Is the audio good?
Yeah, everything's pretty good, man.
All right, cool.
The program with
I just
AI.
set up a key for Groq.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm really curious. If you have a screen up or something you want to share, I would love to see that.
I have nothing to share. I was wondering, because I don't have it set up with like any coding environment. I use MCode, which doesn't have a model choice, right?
Okay. Yeah. Because they have their own model thing that they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, they choose the model for you. You can't really choose. So I mean, I guess I could. I wanted to try OpenCode.
Oh, okay. Yes. Let's go take a look at that. I wanted to try that OpenCode. So that's basically the GitHub thing, right?
Yeah, I'm on my Mac, so I'm going to try to set this up.
Yeah, let's set it up together, friends.
So this is the wrong one. Like, so I don't know what beef they have. There's like some beef, but like Charm Bracelet has their own OpenCode, and then they forked it. But then that's the real OpenCode. I don't know exactly.
If I just do OpenCode DAX, I think that'll probably get me there faster, right?
It's SST/OpenCode on GitHub.
Oh, okay. So let me put this into the actual URL here, so that way we can kind of get people to join here. So OpenCode.ai, if you're interested in getting started with this. So this is basically the another version, an open source version of what Claude Code is, but this will allow us to connect to Groq, and we can try agentic coding this way, which would be kind of fun. So if you're into this, yo, Gula, thank you so much for becoming a member, man. That's so cool. I really appreciate the support. This is just really means a lot to me. So yeah, so we're gonna try this here, OpenCode. It's really cool. Awesome.
That's great.
What's that?
It's failing to install for me, but I'll get there.
Let's see. All I have to do is run this command. So let's go and open the terminal, and then I'm going to open up a new window here, and then just paste this in, right? YOLO?
Yeah, that's the one that failed. It works for you, so whatever.
Okay, so I've added it to this path. So all I have to do is I type in OpenCode, and then we should cook. Oh, cool. That was easy. Let me make this bigger, and let me kind of show this here. So with OpenCode in my terminal, I should now be able to select the provider that I want. So if I go scroll down, I should be able to select Groq. And then all I have to do is just enter my API key. Sweet. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't blur my screen. Let me go ahead and just change the views. And so that way we have just me here. And I'm just going to go ahead and enter my API key. So that way we get it to work here. And it says done. Okay, cool. That was really fast. Let me just go ahead and copy something irrelevant so that way I don't like accidentally expose my key. And we should be back up and running here. So OpenCode is here. So now that I've pasted my API key, I have Groq set up. I can just go to /models then maybe, the list models. And so I can select search for models. I can just type in Kimi. Okay, cool. Hit enter. Sweet. So now at this very bottom right, it'll say Groq Kimi K2 instruct. And now I could just do stuff in here, right? Oh, okay. So this looks like a regular version of Claude Code. So should I just CD into LS? Okay. Oh no, hold on. Okay. So I think what I needed to do is actually start in my repo of wherever I want. So I just go workspace. Okay. CD workspace Yes. So this is the project that I want to start this in. And so I just had to type in OpenCode. Okay, so now if I do pwd, this is my working directory. So you'll want to start in the directory of where your code is, and then you just type in OpenCode, and then that'll actually open the OpenCode interpreter inside of, oh, there's a new update. Restart to apply. Restart. No. Okay. I would think that their OpenCode things will do that. Okay. So now we have 3.10. So once we start the OpenCode inside of this workspace, you'll see it down below of like where specifically we're at. And it looks like it says tab and it says build mode. So if I hit tab again, this is plan mode, and I hit tab again, this is build mode. So tab, just like Claude Code, you can go.
I'm set up too.
Okay, cool.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Yeah, feel free to share the screens and I can get you on there. Yes. Okay. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to set up my screen still. It's still a little bit janky over here.
Create update agents MD. So there's a control X and then there's an I. So what does that mean? Control X, control plus X, I? So control X and then I? No, I don't see anything. Okay. So I was hoping that this, maybe it's command XI, command XI. No, it doesn't do anything either. Okay. I don't know what this means, but I'm just going to do /init. Let's see if we can get started. /init. Okay, so this will initialize everything. Okay, let me check if there's already an agent's MD and examining the cursor rules. So message failed to call a functions. Please adjust your prompt. See the failed generation for more details. Okay. I don't know what's going on. /init. I don't know. I'll analyze the code base. Failed to call a function. Please adjust your prompt. See failed generation for details. Let's see. Please analyze this code base and create one containing this. The file you create by giving agentic code lines. If there are cursor rules or copilot rules, if there's already an agent, improve it. So it does this. It lists my workspace. It goes into this tree and then it just barks. Man, this is such a L. /help. Okay. List files. Okay, so I can actually see the files in here. So this is like a jank version of Claude Code. Let's see, compact the sessions, list all sessions.
It's open source, man.
Yeah. Like, but I want to see the error code so I can actually fix this. I don't see a way to debug, like go into debug mode. Yeah, like I would love to debug this so I can actually contribute, change. Shows you I used 2 cents on Groq for this call. So I don't understand why this failed. But I'm going to go ahead and share your window and see if you have any stuff that's going on. Yeah,
let's see if I have success rate.
Yeah, so let me see if I can assign you to window 2. And then what we're going to go ahead and do there is go into your window when you're ready.
I'm ready, I think.
Okay.
I'll try to keep you like on the side
as well. You probably want to cover that other window.
Yeah, should I just minimize it?
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go, cool. And then, yeah, there we go, perfect. Maybe see if you can make the fonts a little bit bigger.
A little bigger?
Yeah, there you go, perfect, yeah.
All right. I have no idea what to, let me go into my labs repository where I put like all my garbage. Because it also has like an agent MD, so I don't know. I'm just gonna start OpenCode, right?
Yeah.
And it's using Kimi to instruct and create a simple bubble T application with a progress bar. I don't know. This is like stuff I'm curious because this used to be actually pretty complex before Sonnet 4. So we'll see. In command experiments, Kimi progress. Use the top level Go mod. Curious to see what happens.
Yeah.
Way too slow, man. I'm over it.
I'm over it. Yeah.
I've never used OpenCode, so I'm really curious because the UI is great. Like that's something that that bugs me a little bit with AMP-code. It's just the UI is not pleasant to work with on the terminal, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I would just love a way to debug, like enter a debug mode to see what the actual error message is and trace back.
Yeah, I wish I could stream stuff, right? Like, I don't know if there's a way to configure that. Toggle tool details. Okay, why not? Oh, they're now hidden. Okay, why can't I see the streaming?
Yeah.
Because, like, what's going on right now?
I don't know, man.
Maybe Groq is like, let me interrupt, which doesn't work.
Let's see. Can you just give it the instructions for Claude code?
Hello.
Oh.
Maybe it does this like weird tool call error that you also have. Request was aborted. It still says working. Let's see. I mean, we're testing, right?
So one thing I haven't tried yet is try to see if I can give the API key with Claude code and see if that makes a difference. You know, that'd be really interesting. Yeah.
One thing I could try also is just like try another one here on Groq.
Oh, I see.
Like if I go back to Quen and oh man, what is this? So I'm not a Mac user either, so I'm like a little bit not familiar here. So we're in Quen. Create a bubble T application in command experiments, Quen, bubble T, use the top level Go mod. So this is like reasonably complex as I think, even if it's like a, even if it's like a greenfield hello world one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Man, fast.
Wow. Wow. Dude, that's ridiculously fast.
To go run it. What happens if it tries to run like a terminal UI?
I'm just curious. Yeah. So David says download proper OpenCode from open source. That's actually where we're downloading it from, OpenCode.ai. This is literally listed on Dax's little thing. So
yeah,
I ran this command for the install.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, and so
third attempt. Let me see, because terminal UI is also, maybe it's like trying to run a terminal UI. So I'm just going to do a hello world. Create a HTTP hello world and Go and command experiments, Kimi hello HTTP. That should be a no-brainer. I like the title over here that changes.
Yeah.
And then it seems like the tool call is maybe a little bit weird. Like maybe, is it asking me to approve something somewhere?
You know what I want to try is that Claude Code proxy. Have you heard about that yet?
I haven't. I've used Claude Code like in the very, very early days, and not since. I'm not sure what's going on. Like it seems to be something with the tool calls, if I were to hazard a guess.
Yeah.
And maybe it could be something with OpenCode where it tries to ask me for confirmation, but it's not. But there doesn't seem to be, like, do I have to approve? Approve.
Wow.
Unknown error, session is busy. Okay. Well, this is open source for you. What is going on my computer? I don't know. All right. Well, that was my try.
Okay.
You have Claude Code. You have more experience than me with that, right?
Yeah. So one of the ways I got Claude Code set up was with like just setting the base URL. But there is a problem, I think, when you set that up with the base URL, is because the base URL is set up for Anthropic's like tool calling and all that cool stuff that they do. And so there is someone I found recently who just set up like this wrapper for it. So basically it's a Python server you run, and then you can just set the base URL to that, which will make it run. It's a little confusing. It's a little bit more work, but for those who are on stream, and if you want to check this out, I think this is kind of one of the few ways to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and see if we can kind of walk through that. This is not something I'd really recommend as a first shot if you're extremely adventurous like me. Let's just go ahead and figure this out because I feel like we can kind of do that, right? And so...
yeah, Daviti, the OpenCode version I got is the one straight from Homebrew.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I could try building it from source if that's you know, Ray. While you're doing your stuff, I'm just gonna try to build it from source.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll see if that solves something.
Yeah. So somebody made wow. So they actually like fixed a whole bunch of fixed auth handling. What did they do here? Oh, so they now get the OpenAI key from the lazy initialization. Okay, cool. They made a bunch of changes. I think I tried to fork this just in case it got removed or something like that. And so let me just check the issues here. There's a Claude code Kimi Groq.
If you fork it and it gets removed, yours will get removed too. So you should make a copy and push it to a new repo on yours.
Oh, snap. That's that's so crazy. So the tool calling is not working, acknowledges commands, but doesn't execute them. Oh, that's 7 minutes ago. Man, this stuff is still actually going through a whole bunch of things. Kimi command return error. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so getting this set up with Groq right now still needs a little bit more work, it looks like. Because that's what I was hoping for, like a really fast version of this. But if you tuned in yesterday, I was able to get it working with the Moonshot API. So if you go yesterday's live stream, I have the details. Basically, you just get your OpenAI key. But if you're using the Moonshot console, by the way, you're sending your stuff over to this region here. And if you don't care, that's fine. This is the way that you would set it up. You'd basically set up this little ZSH script or bash RC script to run. And so you would copy this and paste it into your bash RC file or .zsh RC file. And then you would put your API key here. So this is the API key that you'll get from Moonshot. And then all you have to do is type in Kimi. And then all of a sudden now you have the Kimi endpoint. So if I go to terminal now, and then basically I'm just going to create a new terminal. I'm just going to type in Kimi. So what it does is it loads my API key. And now we're using the base URI API from actual Moonshot. And so now that I'm inside my repo, I can ask it any questions. I'm literally using Claude code inside of this type of thing. And so what's cool is like I could just do like I can do Kimi -C or something. And so that'll continue my previous conversation with Claude code, but using the Kimi endpoint. So this was my previous conversation in my implementation. So literally I was implementing a feature and I was actually using Claude code. So using the Claude code, like my last conversation in Claude code. And so now I just switched the endpoint to Kimi just by typing Kimi, right? So like that's kind of cool to be able to continue the conversation back and forth. So this basically this like ZSH script or this shell script is something that can live in your like home file. And my live stream yesterday actually has these details on how to do that. And so if we basically put in the base URL for Groq in here, it's likely it's not going to work because the tool calling is basically not completely working like the way it should be. There's all these different ways of formatting that need to be working. So just as a quick example, when you go into this Python file, whenever it's doing an API endpoint call, it's going to be looking for, they've actually now productized this into a script for, CC Kimi. And if we see the config, the converters is probably under streaming. So every tool call you see in here will follow. Okay, this is just for streaming back to the server. It's going to go models. Let me just kind of move this here. So, wow, they've like totally refactoring this whole repo. Yeah.
Preet, are you asking for my YouTube? My YouTube is at program with AI.
Okay.
My streams are nowhere near Ray's. They're just like random stuff. I installed OpenCode from source, and it still seems to like be hanging on the make there. So I'm not sure.
I don't see your channel, bro. Dang.
It's at program with AI. It's maybe not the best.
At program with AI.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/at program with AI. Your screen is very pixelated for me, so I'm not sure if
my bad.
What's going on.
Oh, I see. Maybe here we go. Cool. Let me put this into the chat here so that people will know how to get this here.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So the people in the chat, if you want to check this out, Program with AI, aka Manuel. He does like these epic 3 hour, 2 hour streams where you're literally just vibing. And if you want to just absorb some terminal hotness or whatever and all that stuff, definitely check him out. Also, for those who aren't familiar, Manuel, the way I met him was actually a year ago at the, what summit was that in San Francisco? It's called the
AI Engineering World Fair.
Yeah, there's
my Wi-Fi is garbage, right?
It works fine. I see you fine. Yeah.
You see me fine? Okay.
Yeah. So he gave a talk on prompting, and that's kind of where I learned about this like crazy meta prompting and like this extra prompting things to take advantage. After the talk or something, we were just, or even I think it was before your talk, we were just kind of hanging out on the couch. We were sharing prompting techniques.
Yeah, because you were a helper, right?
Yeah, I was helping. Yeah, I was basically a volunteer but yeah, we were just chatting and shooting our our bones and stuff about like, oh, this is how I prompt and this is how I do stuff, like basically early AI stuff. And then we're just like, oh, cool, you're like a nerd like me. You like to try these things. Yeah. So it's just really cool to see him prompt and do these, what I call wizardry. And so you're able to see that here. So definitely check out Manuel, Program with AI. We were trying to see if we can get this cooking in some type of like agentic environment. So definitely stay tuned, because I think we're going to try to get that going on. The configs right now are all over the place. Obviously, Groq just got this online literally just last night. And so they're actually working to get their tool calling up. So once that's available, be on the lookout for some posts. I'll probably have another live stream showing you how to do the workflow, because I like to streamline my workflows and I don't want to like overcomplicate them. And I want to make sure they actually are working. So as of right now, this is kind of the workflow that I have if you're using Moonshot. I definitely want to get this really clean, simple workflow using Groq. So stay tuned for that, because I want to make sure I get that working. But yeah, and then we'll probably have Manuel back onto the show, and then we can do some more cool prompting to make some really cool apps and really simple things. What do you think about like a simple prompt to make like a scary web app or something really funny?
What we could do is, like, I have my text chat application, so it doesn't do tool calling, but I would mess with that and just experiment with a couple of my prompts to see how intelligent it is.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I tested a new model. Like, I don't have like some clear benchmarks, but
this is
just like a tiny chat application that I use.
Cool.
The first thing that I would do is like, because you tried already some kind of architecture prompts, right?
Yes, kind of, basically, yeah. Like just thinking through like what an app will look like, yeah.
What I like doing is just like asking them to invent programming languages, because that is like just to see the creativity that they come up with, or things like this. So invent a programming language to, I don't know, what could be fun. To print photos, right? Like, I'll just see what it comes up with. This is through Groq. It's too slow. I heard it was so fast. No, this is great. This is super fast. And then just see what the kind of stuff that it comes up with. That would be interesting. So sketch out interpreter architecture. It'll just like see if through the tea leaves I can see what is possible to do with this. This seems to be a form of diagram that it likes doing, right? Like, you had the same shape before.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
It's interesting that it shows Rust.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I don't have a reload functionality in my tool. That would have been a fun thing to try. Actually, do I? I don't think. I think I built it, but I haven't merged it.
I want to give a quick public service announcement, because earlier I was telling people about the Klein extension inside of Cursor, and Clint was actually calling me out on this, saying that, hey, I actually think that Klein extension in Cursor is actually a knockoff. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it and revoke my keys. So for anyone who's actually watching and may have installed it, please probably remove it as soon as possible. I don't trust, it says like, do you want to trust the developer? When we were looking up the specs for this type of extension, one of the weird red flags was the fact that, while it may have a lot of downloads, the odd thing about it was it only had like 2 stars in the average rating of 5 out of 5. And so
that doesn't sound good.
yeah, and the developer is like this guy named Swarishwan, so he could be like farming keys for these different type of things. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is just going to go ahead and like revoke my key for this specific platform, and then so that way, like if you may have been using this inside of Cursor, you probably just want to disable / uninstall. So I'm going to go ahead and hit uninstall here, so that'll be remove everything, and then restart extensions to complete the unextended. So I just now removed it, and then I'm going to go ahead and go back into the console and just revoke the key for FYI for those who are wondering.
So I'm just continuing to like mess with this programming language. This looks great. Like so the programming language approach, it sounds like crazy to ask a model to implement the programming language, right?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, that sounds complex. It's not in the training corpus. It's like nowhere. But it's actually a pretty good way to leverage even small models.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because they came up with the programming language, it means that they are able to come up with the programming language in some sense.
Uh-huh.
And it allows you to have something that's very specific to the problem you're trying to solve, right?
Wow. Wow.
And you can ask the model to create like an interpreter or a compiler for that programming language, which usually is not that complicated, actually.
Huh.
And then you have this like then you can generate programs in this programming language, have a compiler that verifies that it actually compiles, and it makes the generation of, then you can solve problems with it, right? Like if I generate a programming language to, I don't know, take pictures, I don't know exactly what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can just generate these programs in this target programming language without having to deal with like React versions or like HTTP or so. It's just like, oh, this is pure camera stuff, right?
That's crazy. So that's interesting. So using these models to kind of understand a little bit of like the benchmarking, see where they're at with making these types of things. Can they follow these tool sets and instructions? And it's a really fascinating way of doing something. Is there a way to like make some kind of silly like UI? I remember last time you made some really fun, like some scary UI for mail where you were combining these two ideas. Should we see if we can actually do that?
Yeah, sure. So what's interesting is also it shows you like a little bit what kind of creativity it might have. This looks very much like the previous one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it's a complete chat, I'm at temperature 07, so I'm not sure how. I think that's pretty low, right?
Whoa.
Yeah, let's make a UI. Let's make an ASCII UI for a sloth shaving app. It's kind of interesting, the speed, right? Like I've never worked with a model that has that speed, but at the last fair in San Francisco, there was a workshop by the Cerebras guys, which is like even faster.
That's crazy.
And yeah, running like Llama 8B, when it's like so instant that you can run like literally 20 inferences in like 3 seconds, then suddenly you have like a lot more possibilities in like selecting the best one or so.
Yes. So you can generate ideas for UI pretty much on the fly. Dang, that is insane. So right now you're basically using the Groq endpoint to generate this like obscure programming language that you just made up.
Yeah. And here you can see that this wouldn't have happened with Claude.
I see.
Right, because it has a C key over here. And then I said C and it like just generated like a C simulator. I think if I had that in Claude, which we can try out, like if I type C and put this in Claude and then type C, it will actually interpret that as a key.
That's crazy.
Right? Like
Whoa. That's wild. Huh.
Come on. Oh, I have thinking on. Yeah, see, like it will really, oh no, it's like, so what happens if I do press
You know what
C?
I want to try? So check this out. Let's just kind of go deep on a rabbit hole idea here, which would be combining a couple different concepts. So you remember the game like Oregon Trail that's on a command line? It became super popular or something like that back in the days. So it'd be really cool to think about, let's just say, what if that Oregon Trail people, like in that little command line world with those interfaces, had access to AI and had access to like mail, right? Or chat apps like texting. What would like a text app or a mail app look like if they were on the Oregon Trail? And like, what would those interfaces look like? It's like, see if it can actually build interfaces. It's like, yeah, I'm on the Oregon Trail and I got a DM from someone, and then like they're saying my TikTok video is going crazy, you know, like.
So something like that, like an email terminal, and it writes like a full shell script. That's interesting. I wonder if we can try it out.
Lisa Ross is like, oh my God, it's my childhood. AI plus email on a Commodore 64. Oh, so there was, well, this idea kind of came about because someone pulled up the original iPhone and they basically ran Llama like the Llama CPP inside of the original iPhone, which was really cool. And they were able to do AI, you know, like back in the day. I was like, that's crazy.
So something like that.
That's crazy. Read mail, compose mail.
Yeah, more American. That's pretty funny.
Yes.
This looks great. Like this is really cool because it like this allows you to simulate like full apps. I receive an email from Washington. Yeah, you can like interact with these applications, like these kinds of conversations. It's so fast. It's really pleasant to brainstorm with it.
Yeah. POTUS, right. Washington.
I don't.
Manifest destiny in your journey. Fellow citizen, Congress has annexed the vast Oregon territory. Press onward your wagon wheels. Carry the Republic westward. Expect provisions at Fort Lamar. Or I can read it. Signed, Washington. Signed, G. Donner, Wagon Master. Dr. Whitman. Cholera morbus grips our party. 2 wagons have been halted. Water barrels tainted. Girl Mary burns with fever. We camp mile 482. South Bank at the plate. Need laudanum and quinine. Send rider west with haste. Signed, G. Donna. This is hilarious.
Sent by Pony Express.
Pony Express.
Visualize Pony Express as ASCII map. So this is going to be a little bit more intelligent, right? Yeah. Okay, we broke it.
Ah, that's crazy.
Stop it. Stop it. Escape, cancel, completion.
Instead of you got mail, you've got scurvy.
All right. Before
that's too good.
Too much. Oh, so this is the...
Please clone that accent on 11 Labs. That'd be so cool. Chill. Actually, that'd be hilarious. I should probably do that. Like my fake British, like, you know, pro voice is the thing. Like, greetings there, darling. Today, we're going to take you on this journey on the Oregon Trail. But beforehand, I want to make sure I have enough to drink. So I must sip on this container. That sounds like a pretty nice audiobook, actually. Hey, I should audiobook myself. You know who I want to read me audiobooks? Before. Oh, I see.
Come again?
I said, you know, oh, you're basically had some issues with your terminal setup because we're vibing too hard and we totally killed it.
Yeah, and I'm like SSHing in, so I think like the key presses kind of get like transformed a little bit too much.
Oh,
the whole process. Like I wasn't able to kill it.
It's okay.
But so yeah, this is code small model behavior, right?
I see.
This kind of thing. Create an ASCII map of the US with Pony Express rider positions for our war game.
Wow.
This is like,
bro.
So are the positions are like kind of weird.
Right. Yeah.
Interesting. Death Stranding text RPG.
Where did it get that GitHub repo just from?
It
just made that up?
Got it in a loop again.
Oh, wow.
See, I can't cancel it, so that's actually a little bit problematic.
Okay. Because you're SSH into a region. Huh.
Yeah, I think the escape key kind of doesn't make it through.
Okay. Wow.
So why is it not? Why can I not see it? Kill 9. Before I like lose a lot of tokens on dots.
Okay, I want to see if I can say, build me an org.
So you have OpenWebUI, right?
Yeah. There's a code, execute code for analysis. Ooh, what's this? Hold on, I've never seen this before. Oh, cool. Build me an Oregon Trail clone as if we are in 2030 with AI, TikTok videos, social features, and UI for mail, UI for DMs. The characters should be able to interact as if they are going on this trail, but all with modern technology. I'm just really curious to see. So we're basically using the Moonshot Kimi, and I'm trying this feature called Code Interpreter. I've never seen this on OpenWebUI, but yeah, let me just kind of minimize this on the side. Analyzed. Oh, whoa. Dang. Let me just do the same thing in instead of the code interpreter, because I think it's trying to actually interpret the code. Let me just create a new chat. So I'm just going to do the same type of thing here without the interpreter.
Why not? Why not a code interpreter?
But I'm not really sure. I thought I want the app to run, and it should usually just give me like the straight up code for it. I don't know. Like it should be able to. I want the code to run inside a single HTML file. Okay. Boom. Let's go. This is crazy. What the heck is this TikTok export video thing? Bro, where's it getting this video from? Whoa. Did I just totally mess this up? Yeah. Oh my God, it's still going. Bro. Okay, I don't know where...
You might have... I got these loops as well, right? Like, I don't know if it's looping or trying to...
No,
like
it's literally an actual video.
MP4 in there.
Yeah, it's dumping...
I wonder if it will decode.
Dude, if it does, I swear. Bro, Robert, it's like all your tokens belong to us, bro. Ask it to build a clone of itself. That's so hilarious. Please clone. Okay, yeah. That's my favorite name, by the way, Bacon Overflow. No, this thing is still going, bro. I'm really curious to see what video does it think it should be pulling this from, because this is somewhere in its training set. It's still going, by the way. This is massive. Okay. Maybe I'll just say, like, instead of the video, maybe I'll just tell us not. Let's see. I'll stop this thing because it's going too crazy. I'm going to see video file. Since this is a command line UI style throwback, similar to Commodore 64. We don't have real video here. Okay. Just kind of course correcting it for the future. I'm just really curious because I want something to kind of compile and start running for us. Just really curious. This is so fun. Yo, this is crazy. What? Okay, let me full screen this thing. Oh my goodness. Oh, boot to complete? Hold up. This is crazy. Let me see if I can open this up a little bit more. Oh, you know why? Because my I did Command Plus. Okay. So type help. What's going on here? Hi. Oh, let me just refresh this, I guess. I don't know what's going on. I think I literally have the game. Oh, it says preview. Type help. Help. Okay. Oh, wow. I have like a straight up command line interface game here. Status?
Oh, that's great. That's amazing.
Travel? Arrived at Salt Flat. Battery down, -20. Oh, it's actually
Oh, that's funny.
DM
So
Nova.
you have OpenWebUI with their artifact
Yes, the artifact.
capability, right?
Yeah.
I see. I'm thinking about this, like having a pretty intelligent model, right? Like this seems, despite my little mishaps, seems pretty useful. It's like the speed really makes it nice to prototype, not like necessarily prototype in full code, but like do these like pseudo UI and like modify them,
Yes.
right? Like if you now say, add like a slash completion, does that work?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Like in here?
Yeah, just like start to experiment with like, if you were to prototype this, right? Like maybe at some point you'll be like, okay, this is actually has a pretty complex backend. I don't expect this to be something I code in OpenWebUI, but like I do
I
a lot
see.
of like development in Claude AI, for example, right?
Mm,
So this broker didn't know how to edit the existing code. You
I
probably have
see.
to reprompt it and put the entire thing.
Okay. Add to this game and give me the full code. So like, yeah, because this doesn't actually support something like that.
I'm sure they'll, everybody's going to come up with their prompts to do editing.
I see.
So this
Yeah.
didn't work either. I have a hard time reading the pixel salad.
Oh, what ends up happening is that I think I told it to give it. It gave me the change, but it didn't give me the full code because I wanted to see if I could actually preview it in the browser. And so there is a
you
bug
should
here.
do like full HTML file or something like that.
Yeah,
is what you should do.
I think if I could preview it now. Yeah, I could do /help. That's awesome. Oh, I think it's /help /scout. This is
Lisa, like typing code from a magazine was like, it's kind of similar to typing code from an AI, right? Like it's like step by step you start understanding maybe a little bit more what a computer can do if you spend the time to, or if you have like the curiosity to try to understand what the AI has output.
Oh, I see. This is like all programmed in here. Yeah, so we can just keep going saying, hey, I want you to give you this API endpoint. I want you to hit like some like build an agentic workflow for this so that it hits this endpoint and starts to like talk to an AI. So then like we can actually start to plug this game in and start to actually make it super real. Huh. That's interesting. That's a pretty fun little exercise.
One thing, like to continue on Lisa's thing, and I think like semi-intelligent models might be really interesting for that as well. I'm calling it semi-intelligent because I don't necessarily expect it to be like O3 level. But because it's fast, or because it's like a little bit more fun to chat with it for like longer things. One thing I did this morning is like I'm playing around with radio and like Bluetooth, and I've got this like
the Flipper
Zero with like the Bluetooth Marauder, whatever.
Yes.
And so I did some research in O3, and then I pasted the result in like AMP code, which is like Claude code, and I just said like teach me. Right. And so it made me like this course where it would ask me, oh, do you want me to run this command? That's like the next step. And like step by step taught me how to do firmware development on the Flipper. So it's like an interesting modality of, I do want to build software on the Flipper, but instead of saying like build the software on the Flipper, is like, oh, you're a teacher, like teach me to build the software.
I see.
And so you get the loop of the agent is suddenly like this kind of like teacher thing. And I asked it like, oh, keep a teacher diary on the things that I didn't understand, that I didn't know, so that I can then research them more.
Wow.
And
someone's like, I bought a Flipper about a user.
Yeah.
I haven't had it.
I use it for like a little portable dev kit. It's really fun. I was able to vibe code like a pretty complex application a while ago, but the C was pretty hard to generate back then. I don't know if it's gotten better. So what I did is like I wrapped a lot of the firmware in C++ because that is easier for models to deal with.
Wow. Wow. So, have you heard of this thing called the Distiller One, aka from this company called Premier AI? So these guys have basically done something similar. So they've made their
What are
own
they called?
Premier.ai. Let me just put this in here. So I actually have one of their products. It's called the Distiller One. It's like the Founders Edition or whatever. I saw them post on X and it went like super viral. And for me, like it's basically you can run language models on this thing. It's all like local hardware, and you can SSH into it, and then similar to like the Flipper one, but it has a OLED or e-ink display. So with the e-ink display, you can
that's
just
pretty cool.
Yeah, and all the apps are written in Python. So like literally, you could just have your Oregon Trail game. There's a microphone. There's a camera in the back. It does take 100% CPU to run, but it's still like the first version. Like this was something that came out like a year and some change ago, right around that time when that big orange device came out. I forget what it's called. But
the rabbit, I have it here.
Yeah, the rabbit.
Like Ethan gave me his, and then he never unregistered it. I'm trying to hound him to like unregister it so I can use it because I can't actually use it.
Yeah, the problem with that orange rabbit thing is the fact that it's closed source, where like this one here is open source, so it's Premier.ai. And yeah, so these guys are really cool because basically they're coming out with something new. I'm supposed to meet them in San Francisco in the next couple of days. And so they're going to show me this thing here. It's basically an updated version of what I have, probably with more beefier GPUs and things. And the founder store is really cool. So yeah, there's an alpha dev kit you can order. What is the cost? Yeah, $200. And so this is the alpha dev kit. So if you're
it's like going into my dev kit graveyard, like get dev kits for all ton of, but at actually least, like now that models have gotten good and the agent stuff, I've been building so much with like my dev kits finally, right? Because like the hardest thing in embedded is to get like the first LED to blink.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And that step is actually now handled by the models really well because they can do web search. You can do O3. So like, how do I flash this stuff?
I see.
Which used to be excruciating before, right? Because you'd be like, I have a tool chain to install. I need to flash the bootloader. How do I flash the bootloader? What buttons do I need to press? And then it's like embedded developers don't know how to do documentation. Like now they do actually. Now finally the embedded world has caught up with the modern society, but
it's like, I know Bacon Overflow. Trust me, as soon as I see these products, I order instantly.
Ray, do you know Busy.bar?
No, what's that?
So go on Busy.bar. That's like the Flipper company that does like a little. They are actually in production now soon.
Wait, so that's similar to this little thing I have back here, but it's just actually, wow. Oh, that's hot.
And the cool thing about the Flipper Zero is like the firmware is really well done. It's like you can see how good devices could be if everybody spent a little bit of time on energy efficiency and speed. Yeah, this looks amazing.
Bro. Okay, can I buy this like immediately? I want to buy this and just do this stuff on stream.
Pre-order list, but they're in pre-production, so it's not vaporware anymore. Because
okay, they're actually made it to that step. So I like this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to talk to you, so I have a thing to talk to you. So I program the thing to talk to you to talk to.
Well, think about your agent loops, right?
Yes. Oh wow.
So then Claude would tell you like, please click OK. You know.
Yeah. So the fact that it has a microphone for built-in voice, 2 weeks on standby. Yeah, I think to me, if I can make apps for this, I'll do the app settings.
It's the same company than the Flipper Zero, so it's like eminently open, eminently easy to build things. And I guess you're a design aficionado, design victim. Do you like designer objects?
Yes. Yeah, no, I like the playfulness.
It's gonna be my downfall.
Yeah, this is such dangerous stuff. This is kind of, yeah. I mean, that's why I love talking to other people.
Stuff.
The new part, yeah. I'm gonna. How much is it gonna break the bank? Let's see.
200.
Oh, okay. So it's very similar to the other one that I was showing you guys from Premier AI, but this one is just a very specific use case. I think the one I like about Premier AI is the fact that you can run language models on them. You know. And it's like everything's in Python.
No, this is purely like a display thing. I think it's like on purpose, very minimal, very opinionated. which I like. I'm
Oh, I
not
see.
fully a fan of that kind of like design style, but
Right.
I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Something
But
to tinker with. Oh my gosh.
yeah, the Flipper Zero I really like. Bacon, do you have experience with like embedded a little bit? And Ray, I don't know if you have a Flipper Zero, but
I don't. I probably
it's
should get
like
one.
if it's a great design object. Like this is what the screens look like.
Bro, I love this comment right now. Ray's channel is like a Greek nerd prawn. Bro, this is me. This is my channel. I am such a like. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that's so
There you
wow,
go.
dude. What is that?
It's like a device that has a bunch of radio security oriented firmwares, but like it's like a general purpose like development board at the end of the day, right? It's like it has a lot of firmwares that are geared towards security. And what's really amazing is like you can see how fast Bluetooth and a device can be if people cared about efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like firmware flashing is like you click flash and it flashes like
Wow.
within a millisecond, and you're like, okay, why is not everything like this?
Did you see that thing that Jack Dorsey made called BitChat?
I haven't seen it, no.
Okay, so BitChat is like this. I know this sounds like a podcast right now. So, Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter back in the day, sat down and just wrote a whole protocol to have this like private chat that happens over Bluetooth. So you can basically make your own private networks and everything, and it's all like a Bluetooth standard. So all your stuff basically is just going over the local networks. So you're not depending on like an internet connection and some server that's available. So if there's basically this giant outage that happens, if you have battery power with your phones and you see other Bluetooth devices nearby, you can start having communication with people, like, over chat. And so you don't have to stand up any like routers or web servers or anything. It's just all done over Bluetooth. So to me, it makes me think about devices like that, like the Flipper Zero, other little small embedded devices where they can be like basically relays or pass-throughs or anything like that. To hand off communication back and forth. So imagine having like this conversation between like Apple Watches or all kinds of cool stuff. So yeah, to me, embedded stuff is really deep and it's really, really cool. Yeah.
I tried something fun, like if we're in embedded land, because I'm like trying to learn radio stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
But I tried. I also have like an app to build for a buddy of like controlling a DSP. Like a DSP amplifier. So the stream on Sunday, I continued vibing on that, but I had to reverse engineer the protocol because the specs were not up to date, right? So I just in January, I pasted it into O3 and it like reverse engineered the protocol because it's like horrible to be like, oh, it looks like the byte 16 seems to be a length, and then there's like 17 characters after that. But for thinking models, that's like kind of an easy job, right?
Wow.
So like in one shot, it reversed engineered the protocol that I was like procrastinating on for like a year. I was like, I don't want to spend my Saturday doing that.
Oh my goodness.
And yesterday I tried something even crazier. So I've got these little printers here, these like little Bluetooth printers.
Wow.
That are really fun. Except there is a driver for Linux, but I can't get it to work and it's like bugging me. And I know that on Android, you can like sniff the Bluetooth traffic.
Okay.
Right, like you can log in and like sniff the Bluetooth traffic. So what I did is I connected this over USB-C, right?
Wow.
And then I told Amcode, like, please reverse engineer the printer protocol. And so it connected to the Android phone. It was like, oh, I'm going to start sniffing the Bluetooth. So it told me like to click a few things on it, right? It said like, oh, please turn on the printer and like print something. And then it recorded it and it started analyzing the results. And it was able, because in the standard firmware, in the standard Android, it will like truncate the packet size.
Yes.
It wasn't able to decode the whole thing.
Oh.
But it decoded all the commands of the protocol, right?
Oh,
it's like,
wow. You could have taken it a step further to have it write its own utility, to have its basically own like log parser to analyze.
Oh, not just log parser. I would like say, oh, please write me like a Go application that does Bluetooth right? So on the host, so that I can start testing it. So it's just like at some point, I was doing this on the side while I was waiting for my work agents. But yeah, no, it's great. Like the fact that you can just connect it and say like, please figure this stuff out. So the DSP controller, I know that if I send messages to it too fast, it locks up.
Wow.
And
wow.
it's kind of like a pain to debug those kinds of things, right? Like, or like debugging or like just handling them is when you do it by hand, you have to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to press this fast enough. Okay, I need to reboot the device. Let's try it again. And I took one of these like little Zigbee power plugs, that you can use for home automation.
Yeah.
And I told Amcode, like, look, you can reset the device. Please figure out how fast you can blast it.
That's crazy.
And then it just did a loop where it was like, okay, well, it seems like if we send it more than 5 times a second, it locks up. But it was able to do the whole thing by itself.
That's amazing.
Which is,
for those who aren't familiar with
like,
the Zigbee standard, that's one of the, if you've ever had those things called the hue lights, where you can just tell it to change the color of your lights in your room. There's like an actual like Wi-Fi standard called Zigbee, and it's a protocol that's being used to talk to all the lights. So, you obviously don't want to have everything necessarily on the same Wi-Fi network per se and using up all these things. So they have these standards and these spectrums. So it's a programmable language. It's like open. You can, do these types of things. So you can actually send these commands.
Yeah, you can get this for like $10, I think. It's like a little USB Zigbee adapter.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I remember having to like reverse engineer Zigbee stuff just to write commands because you lock down the ability to pair them. And like that was the reason what motivated me to like learn that. It was so annoying because it's like they would do this sauce where you have to pair with the iOS app. Once you buy the bulbs, you couldn't like transfer. It was just like such a mess. And it's like, dude, it's just a standard. We should be able to do this stuff. It's software. I could talk to it. Like I own it.
I was an embedded developer too, right? And it's like since I left that world, I was a little bit burnt out, but also like every time I start, I'm like, holy, I don't want to get back into this like protocol bootloader flashing, all this kind of not fun. I've done it enough. And now with the models where I can just delegate all that stuff, it's just like pretty amazing. So I can show you another thing that I did. I've got this like software defined radio.
What? Bro, what is that?
So this is actually pretty cheap as well. You can get it for like $30. It's called the RTL SDR. So the software defined radio it will use this is a TV tuner, I think, originally, and it's able to record a pretty wide bandwidth of the radio spectrum, and then decode it in some. So not like have a hardware decoder, but it basically burns your CPU but decodes. So you can decode any kind of protocol. You can decode or FM radio or AM radio. So you can decode Zigbee as well. There's different qualities of things, and there's this software called GNU Radio that is like a clicky visual application. Like if you want to call it up on the browser, it's called GNU Radio. And they have this format called GRC to define like these graphs.
Let me see here.
And
this thing?
AI is like great at generating these graphs, right? Yeah.
Wow. So this is like their website here. Documentation.
Yeah. So the documentation is like open source documentation, so it's like not really pleasant. But that again with O3 in the loop, it's like really cool because you can create like really high quality software documentation that's like tailored to what you like, right? Like everything here is to do kind of.
Wow. Yeah, right.
I'm a little bit wary of going in, making like a pull request saying like, I generate like good documentation for all of this. I verified it, but by the way, it's an LLM, and then everybody's going to like pile on me.
No, but as long as it works, right? I mean, damn, this is so crazy.
That's the thing. I don't want to get into a debate about like copyright and this future of software.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, if you look at the screenshots,
yes,
you can see what it looks like. It's like these little graphs of devices. So some of them are like FM decoders. Some of them are like they're basically C++ in the backend, but you can generate like a Python script out of this, for example.
Bro,
and
this is so crazy.
So you can decode Zigbee, for example, if you want, or you can decode Bluetooth. with this little $25 device.
Dude, that's so
And
crazy.
if you
Dang.
do you still have your OpenWebUI actually?
Yeah.
Try that. Like create a GNU Radio graph to decode FM.
Yeah.
How good does it do at that? It's really
Video
annoying because I see
graph
only pixels for
decode
you.
FM. Okay. Let's just see. Bro.
Yeah, so I mean, there's like
I'm gonna have to blur out this live stream because we can't be looking at this stuff right now. if I start this to disappear off the face of the earth and you don't see me on the live streams anymore, blink 3 times. Yo, this is very sensitive information. Y'all didn't see this. We're gonna do flashbang on everyone's eyes. Yo, man, I feel this is what's crazy in the age of where we're coding and what's going on. It's like with AI, you can start doing some real serious stuff. And so the Oracle's like, what is another banger? Where do you find these guests? Yo, these are my friends. I hang out with people like this. This is just kind of everyday thing. Like, so if you're all up into this, definitely subscribe. Ray Fernando 1337. This is just what we do here. I love to just kind of, this is my summer of streaming. I'm hanging out with my friends, trying to build stuff with AI. I'm trying to learn stuff as I go, by the way. You know, it's not all about me and my apps and like the latest models. I'm just a curious engineer and I can't stop tinkering. I have this problem, right? Like I have to use all the different things.
It's horrible, man. It's absolutely horrible. Let me show you for people who are like curious, since there's like people who have like flipper zeros and that kind of stuff. Let me share my screen and I'll show you how I approach while feeding my curiosity, right?
Tinker support group right here. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate that. AI feature creep is another level. I can't stop. Let me get your screen up here.
People who have an addictive personality, like maybe look away.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be seeing this stuff. Tech prawn. You should just name that show. Oh man, this is too good.
But so I got these like Meshtastic radios. This was like the hook for me to get into radio.
Okay, wow.
And so one thing I do is in Manus, right, which is like my fire and forget kind of thing. Yes. I feed it tons of money, and then I just every time I have like an idea, I'll just go off and like make prototypes, which might work or might not work. But to show you, if I have like, I wanted to have like a BBS on this like mesh network.
Yeah.
So I started building with Manus. I said it like, you know, install the simulators, but then I had it built this entire BBS with SQLite over this mesh networks. And this one actually works pretty well.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And so that's one way to like feed into my curiosity, is just like make little prototypes. And then when I test them, and obviously often they don't work for real, or they have like issues, that's when you start learning things. But you get past this, like just the boring part of like, how do I flash the firmware? How do I set up this right? Like you get all of this, at least you have a starting point that's often pretty decent.
Holy smokes. Dude, so Manus will literally just kind of do that for you, like all the dirty work. I keep forgetting about that from time to time.
Yeah, there's like so many, right? Like I think M-code or Claude code or so, they're like not, they're almost autonomous, right?
Right.
But you're still like kind of in the loop. In Cursor, you're like pretty involved. And like Claude code, you're like less involved. Like maybe every 2 minutes you have to like check in or so.
Right.
These you check in like every 30 minutes, and usually it's a one shot. And so, for example, this like reverse engineering, the printer, I think I go back and forth between ChatGPT and Manus, but I'll basically just write books about the thing that I want to do. I like write a deeply technical, detailed book about, and then just put in the stuff I'm interested in.
That's already after the top, you've had a conversation earlier about the topic to kind of get it primed and ready to like start to get ready to execute that into like a way? You're basically kind of doing
That
data manipulation, right?
that depends.
Okay.
That depends. I'm not really good at prompting O3 or like deep research. I used to be able to generate like 100-page books. That doesn't seem to work that well anymore. Also, I don't care. Like I don't have the time to read that necessarily.
Yeah.
So those are usually like 30 pages,
Wow.
and I print them out and then I read them at breakfast. And so this gave me like a pretty good starting point, right, to learn about these different firmwares and like the different protocol things.
Wow.
And the thing I did today was like, this course was pretty cool, and I don't know where it is.
So you literally will make
forgot.
courses for yourself based off of like the topic.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm curious about this. Tell me more. And so somebody was asking, you're using O3. Is that not better than using like Claude Code or for Opus? Like kind of maybe explain to some people like why you're using this.
I like O3 in the web UI because it's just good at searching the web. Like in AmpCode, it has a web search tool, but I don't know. It's just comfort as well.
That makes sense. Yeah,
but
you can see it does a lot of tool calling to find the different web stuff and pull it back in. Yeah. Wow, 26 seconds. Look at all that stuff.
I don't know if people have. I'll show like one of the creepy things that was like all the rage when O3 came out. So street photo, crappy mall. I'm going to look for a random picture online that's like not a super shiny picture, but like, let's say this, right? This is New York. This is too easy. Yeah, this random stuff. I have no idea what this is. You can do like GeoGuessr. And this kind of shows you what O3 in the web UI is like kind of able to do. So this is CSI. If you remember from back in the days, right, where they say like,
yeah, like the governments can look at your photo and
like
figure out
zooms in and stuff like that. So check this out. It's like, oh, this is like, there's Nob Hill Plaza. These are Canadian flags. Let me check what this is. It will like start zooming in on different plates and stuff because it can search the web.
Oh my God.
I mean, I guess it found the name somewhere, but you can see it. It will write a Python script to zoom onto different parts of the image. So this was too easy, man. Too easy. What about this crap? Because I want to show the thing, and then that's really fun for when you have technical stuff that requires a little bit of comparing information and things like this. And this is kind of like the best example. Like you can paste an Excel sheet in there and it will start analyzing the numbers and like suggest some algorithms or things like this.
Bro, that's so wild.
So here it's like starting. I hope that it does the Python thing because that's just so fun. Yeah, thank God.
So it's looking at the different pieces of the image using Python as part of the O3 instruction set. Oh, and it's even blurring out. Oh my gosh, bro. Bro.
I don't know what the blurring is.
If this is not some advanced, oh, what? It's even, oh my goodness. Bro, stop.
So it's going to start focusing on different details to read the text and to do like better.
I don't think many people even know that this is a thing. Holy smoke. Bro, that's scary right now. We got to stop the stream.
That is genuinely scary because like everything I tried, sometimes it will search for like 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And it will find like the wildest stuff. It will tell me like, you're on the second floor of this building, and like a random part of Providence just looking up on like a parking lot. And I was like, what the fuck?
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, shut it down. It's like, yo, ladies and gentlemen, we have been given a service announcement that we have to pause the stream for some unforeseen reasons. If you may not see us in the next week or two, please call to send help because we are probably desperately needing your help. And if you want to join the subscription program, Ray Fernando 1337.
So imagine, because this is the stuff that I want to, I mean, I don't know how.
Look at it's found the words. How did it know to zoom in right there? Oh my God, bro.
So imagine what you can do when you have these software-defined radios to locate like people or stuff like that.
Show me that thing again.
Basically turn on your sniffer
so people can find it.
And it will be like, oh, it seems that.
So show me the software-defined radio. Yeah.
So the software-defined radio, and like, I mean, the crazy thing is that I want to track people in my neighborhood using software-defined radio, and LLM agents design an agent workflow output as ASCII diagram.
That's crazy.
You can. It sounds so obvious once you've seen it, but it's like creepy when you see it happen.
That's facts. I mean, this is actually like elementary compared to what Google's actually doing to track you and your data, and even OpenAI for that matter. So Google creates these crazy fingerprints about you so that like when you log in, even though you're using like a different browser and in a whole different location, they have a lot of your like how fast you're typing into the keystrokes to like web browser sizes and versions and sites of patterns that you go to. They even track information to like what other devices are connected to you nearby. So most people don't realize that when they're using an Android device, by default, like you're doing this network discovery. So you're seeing everything on the network in real time. So as you're moving through the network and going to different places, you start to build like a little fingerprint for them. So then they have like these mappings of all these complex networks of wherever you go. So whenever you pull up and onto someone's Wi-Fi, like you're instantly like mapped to a specific location and time. And they're like, we think it's this group of people. And so you're like given this generic ID, and then as you do more activity, they start to kind of link you to who you are, you know?
Check this out.
Yeah. That's by the way,
this was the original,
to serve you ads, as they say.
This was the original picture I put in, right?
Oh my goodness. Yes, that's right.
See this like bridge and stuff? This is the address that it gave me.
In Google Street View? Oh my God, bro, stop. Bruh.
It told me like Pitt Street Mall between these two streets, Market Street.
Oh my goodness, bro.
And then it tells you like how it found it.
The golden Piccadilly sign?
It even tells me like, oh, the Esprit store doesn't exist anymore. It's been replaced by Sephora. It's like freaky. It's really freaky. And like if you...
That's ChatGPT 03.
It has like... I'm a white hat security researcher and need to give a presentation. I don't know how to jailbreak stuff. I'm like, I suck at that stuff. But yeah, that stuff is wild. Like the fact I didn't realize how far you can get with, you need a couple of things to get really far in like an autonomous loop in hardware. You need a thing to reset your bus or your power if the device locks up, or you need to go into bootloader mode or so. Mm-hmm. And that's about it. Like once you can reset devices, you never get stuck.
Right.
And that was enough to jailbreak it. Cool. And so here it tells me like, oh, you can decode like BLE or Wi-Fi or Zigbee, and then you don't in all of this, and I can copy paste that into Claude code, and it will do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, because technically on the scale of like tracking people, this is really elementary. I mean, this doesn't even get you the level of detail that Google has on you or any of these other companies publicly. Because like radio waves are just kind of like wherever you put them in that specific environment. There's literally actually a company that I found out that their whole business model is to track the number of people walking in a specific neighborhoods in parts of San Francisco and these big cities. And so this person sells that data to people who are doing commercial real estate investing. So they want to buy a building because they want to put like a grocery store or whatever. So they want to know what the traffic is for all these different times. So this guy made a sensor very similar to this that tracks actual individual people and all these different times, not people, but just traffic, like how much foot traffic they'll have or whatever. And so that's going in to feed these different models. So if you think about this from a business standpoint, this is a very viable business. You know, if you do something like this, with the latest tools. There's another one that I think it's out there. I think it's like I forget the name of the thing, but basically you can put it into your house and it can detect it's using ultra millimeter waves. And so you don't have to have a camera in your house. It can actually tell if the person is standing up, if the person is falling, if the person is in the room, or if they've left. And I'm actually planning to set something up around the house because I have someone that I'm also caring for who's going through like this long stage dementia. So eventually they'll get to a point where like they may injure themselves. And I would like to have an alert sent to me saying, hey, this person is fallen or injured or appears to not be getting up in the last 6 hours. You know, this is lunchtime and they should have already been doing this or something like that. So having an intelligent system like that with sensors without putting cameras in the house, because if people are in the house, you know, I don't want like caregivers to feel like they're being watched, you know? I think this is really cool stuff.
One thing that's interesting about that is because you have this like human-like behavior of LLMs is that you can actually, you know, like maybe they just fell asleep or something like that, right? Like, so instead of freaking out because you get an alert saying like, oh, this person like hasn't moved, you can at least incorporate some of that like human interaction for someone to say like, oh, are you still asleep, without freaking them out with like a beep or something like that.
That's a good point.
So having like a preemptive or like filtering thing that allows you to kind of remove this surveillance aspect, but like just make it like a little bit more empathetic, or like not empathetic, but like having, especially if it's someone who's older and has dementia, you don't want to confront them necessarily to like, because I know my grandfather hated his like alert button. He would always remove it. But if you have something that has like a little bit more human-like surface, that could be really interesting as well, right? Like where the guy could say like, no, I'm okay, or instead of like, oh, you need to press the button twice if you don't have an alert or so.
That's a good point. Yeah, because like my friend's very used to talking to Siri over the last decade. I have like every speaker everywhere in the house has Siri. So from asking questions about weather to turning on and off lights. So imagining a little siren that just, or not siren, like a really calm sound that comes in saying, hey, how are you? Everything okay?
Have you seen this hugging face robot?
No. We're going to keep going down this rabbit hole. I love this conversation. This is so good.
It's called I don't know what it's called. It's like cute little Wally looking thing. And I was like, I was like, should I buy this? Like I'm in.
Oh my gosh, that's even more so deaf adorable. Kids. Wait, hold on. That one, hugging face robot.
Yeah, it's
Le robot.
Look on YouTube because it's like. Hold on, let me go back.
I have this thing called Le Robots. Is this the thing you're talking about? LE Robots.
Share your screen. You're probably better at searching. Oh yeah, no, it's not. I think it's that one, but go on YouTube. They have like cute videos.
Really? Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're using Google.
What's that?
I don't know if it's that. I'll send you a link actually.
Okay.
So I'm really glad to be here.
You should use Kagi because like Google search is kind of over.
Kagi, Kaggi?
Kagi. It's a search engine, but you pay by the search.
Seriously?
So you have like 0 ads. Yeah, it's great. It's amazing.
A premium search engine.
Like
Whoa! You're putting me on game right here. Please tell me more.
This is maybe the one subscription that I would kill last after OpenAI even.
Whoa.
Well, actually, share my screen and then you'll be able to see it. Then I can do Google comparison versus Kagi comparison.
Oh, wait. So share, If as soon as you share the screen, it'll just pop right up.
Oh, I need to share it, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So Google was unseated for me by Kagi, Kagi. I find the results overall user experience so much better. Bro, that's crazy. Yeah.
All right. So
you may want to move our side screen there.
Google.
Okay.
I'm going to open Google on the left, and I'm going to say
I'm on the Google side.
Robot.
Yeah.
Hugging face robot. And so I mean, this is probably not going to be SEO slop to death, but it's like you can already tell like this is going to have like these VentureBeat things. I guess this one has it as well. but you have this things that you have, for example, is you can order by the ad tracker count.
What's
So
that
you
mean?
can filter out stuff with ad trackers.
Oh.
It will like sort it by things that have the least trackers to the most trackers. So
Oh.
TechSpot and TechCrunch have more trackers than GitHub.
Oh, I
For
see.
example.
Oh, that's super handy.
Oh yeah, that's great. And then you can like block certain website, right? Like WinBuzzer, I have like no idea what this is. And so I can remove results from this website. Or I can like, if I hover over this, I think it will tell me how many ad trackers are here, how many, right? Like I can down rank it or like up rank it, or
Oh,
like
that's
completely
cool.
block it.
Wow.
It basically has all user-oriented features, because here you are not the product. You're just like the real user. And then they have a pretty good integration with AI, where the quick answer is like done on request, but you can continue this in Assistant. And then here they have like a shit ton of models that you can choose from.
Wow.
So Kimi, they don't have Kimi yet, right?
I love this comment, by the way. It says, Manuel's literally living my imagination. That's how I feel these days. You know, I feel like we have the liberty to kind of explore, go down these rabbit holes. I mean, that's why we do what we do. It's just so fun to turn on the camera and kind of hang out and share this live, because this is literally what I do with my friends live.
Yeah, this reminds me that I actually have to get back to work.
Yeah, you have to.
I should have stopped at 3. But like Kagi is probably I would cancel this after OpenAI.
Wow.
Like this is the only one, because it makes like every web search like a pleasure versus like a what the heck is this?
Wow.
And then it's a super small team, and you can define like your own search filters.
Whoa.
Right? Like I have like
PDFs? Dang.
The small web, for example, is really fun, because you can, small web, for example, will only search on like Web Archive and like small little blogs.
Wow. So you can get really niche and really technical without feeling you're being served up the highest bidding keyword, right?
Yeah.
Wait, so look up like Claude code in the small web. I'm just really curious. Like who's Claude code, Kimi, you know, Claude code Kimi K2, I think. Type in that for the small web. I just want to see who's like writing about this. Okay. And then instead of small web, we can just
haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Claude code, let me do Claude code Kimi, but it's probably too recent for the small web filter.
Yeah, exactly.
Over time.
No, but I'm really curious.
Like you kind of have only blogs in here, like individual blogs, which is really fun to search, like a little bit like, you know, like the web rings of the past.
Wow.
I think they have like they even have like a whole section about, they have a podcast search. Like it's crazy. It's a really small team. And then you're like, okay, well, Google just like does this on purpose to have a shitty web search.
Wow.
It has,
oh my goodness.
They have, I don't know. It's wild.
Whoa.
So you said Claude code on all, Claude code Kimi K2, right?
Yeah, I just want to see who's doing.
So these are podcasts, interconnects, like Nathan is up there.
19 hours ago, 5 hours ago.
Videos, are you going to be on there? Or are you playing the SEO game too much?
Probably. I'm playing the SEO game.
There you are.
Yeah.
And then if we search for all.
Oh, yeah. Right there. The first one.
Right there. Yeah. But all of these things are like pretty much like on point, or at least like interesting things where it's like, oh yeah, like this seems like a well-written.
Okay, Robert's like calling you out.
Like,
how much stock does Manuel have in Kagi? He's pimping it hard.
0. It's just such a pleasure using it every time. I'm like, one thing they will do is like blast from the past, which is really fun also. So
yeah, let's take a look.
Let's say language models AI, and let's see if there's like going to be a blast from the past. So they have like these interesting finds, which are just like a little bit of the, blast from the past. And they'll always get stuff from like Web Archive from like 10 years ago, like 20 years ago.
Whoa.
That's really fun.
Wow. That's kind of an interesting way of doing search I never thought about.
Yeah, it's a really pleasant way of doing this. So they also have an API, right? Like their search index, which is built on top of Bing and Google, I think, but they are able to aggressively filter.
Wow.
They have a whole small website where like everything's kind of like WebRing style.
That's pretty cool.
Everything's just like small blogs, like written by individuals. So it really brings these two things together of like on the one side AI and on the other side like this very like human-centered, handmade, small things. And I think they go very well together. That's why like a lot of the discourse around AI and open source or like AI and creativity is so annoying to me, is because they go really well together to do these kind of like own personal projects, do your own whimsical research.
Man, that's super duper
Kagi.
cool. Yeah, awesome. This was a pretty fire live stream, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in, Manuel, and kind of hanging out with us. This is just what it's like to hang out with us. This is Ray Fernando, summer of streaming, here every single day for you throughout the summer. This is our goal here. And thank you guys for tuning in and really appreciate the support. If you haven't had a chance to join the membership, I have a membership you can just join. Just go to youtube.com/@RayFernando1337. So from there, you actually could just hit the join button. And that little join button will basically allow you to become a member. Manuel is also a member as well. He's all up in the Discord, so you can actually kind of chat with him, program with AI. We can nerd out like friends and so forth and kind of go really deep on that stuff. So yeah, the Discord's really fun. It's a private Discord and it's only by members only. So I'm trying to get my first 100 members and then the price will double from there. So it's just $6.99 to join in. So yeah, it's really, really fun.
Cool.
Supporting a cool effort. And
yeah.
What's up?
Thanks for having me, Ray. It's like always. It's always really fun.
Yeah, cool. All right, kids. We'll catch you later and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, y'all.